Are we good?
Yep.
There we are.
There we go.
Hey, we're in. Yes.
Oh, we are so fucking close. Oh, sorry. we gotta blink that out. All right, so here's what's gonna happen. Sorry, YouTube.
We have new rules.
We want a truce, YouTube. We want a truce. So no more profanity, guys. No profanity. At least in the first 20 minutes. We're not going to say the bad words anymore. That's what we're going to try to do.
I'll give you the thumbs up when you can curse
for sure. Yeah, after about 20 minutes, we want to play by the rules because apparently they don't like us. It's just give us another month after election season's over. Then a lot of this will change,
go back,
and we'll go back to like the normal rules. But for right now, they really don't like us. So we're gonna truce Instagram. I mean YouTube, whatever you are this week. Okay, guys. So let's go ahead and introduce our guest. She's from Los Angeles. She's an adult entertainer. It is Miss Sheena Ryder. Welcome, Sheena. First time. This is she just lost her IG and then called me and there was like, hey, she wanted to still come on. So there's a trooper right here. Okay. And she lost one with 100K and you lost one with 50K. Jeez. You're going to get this thing back to 50K tonight. We're going to get your Instagram
I got
back.
mine ransomed back in like March.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. They'll take
call
you off and they'll say, give me $3,000, $8,000 so you can have it back.
Yeah. Yeah. She's from South Carolina. She's an awkward hottie and an OF model. Please welcome back Aria. How's it going, Aria? Beautiful.
New hair.
She's from Des Moines, Iowa. She's the owner of Catwalk Daddies. Catwalk Caddies. She owns a caddy agency.
That's pretty good.
Please, Catwalk, or Daddies too. Miss Monray, what's going on? There she is.
Also, new hair.
New hair. That's right. Every show she has new hair. She is from Atlanta. She is a housewife, and she just competed in our bikini competition a couple weeks ago. Is Miss Sydney Klein?
Hey.
Welcome, Sydney.
She has very important hair.
Very important hair. Yes, her hair takes up the room. She is from Wyoming. She's a model and entertainer. Miss Summer Bunny. Welcome for the first time, Summer. The show, incredible. And she's from Denver. She's a cannabis professional, a model. Miss Ariana J. How you doing?
Good.
Welcome for the first time. Let me see here. You two have been here before. I think the four of you have not, so that's going to be pretty cool. We're going to do this.
Great.
We have a ton to react to. Do you want to? Can we do the?
Yeah, we can. You want to get into announcements?
Well, yeah, announcements. Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say. What do you have going on? What's the next thing?
So we've got kind of an issue. I don't know how to figure this out. So the 19th, we have. We'll probably maybe do a show next Thursday. We're going to try to do one. Uh-huh. The week after that, I'm going to be in Los Angeles for the Ty Lopez event that's coming up. The week after that is my birthday on the 3rd.
What?
Yeah. Now, here's the thing. Ladies, I'm going to send you guys an invite for what I'm doing on the 3rd. Gentlemen, I'm not telling you guys shit. You'll all find it anyway. I'm not telling unless you're in MOA or you're here for immersion, I'm not telling anyone where my birthday is.
I think I was the only one that got
every year I invite 0 dudes and 75 guys show up. Every fucking, and it's always a secret place. Yeah. So that's going to be on the 3rd. The week after that is the 10th, and I'm hosting a charity event. On the 17th, it's going to be Babes in Toyland.
Pink Party, yes.
Pink Party.
We will be there with Reignite as well, so that's going to be the 16th through the 18th.
Guys, I would never miss a Babes in Toyland to begin with. If you're going to fly in town to Los Angeles for anything, go to the Breast Cancer Awareness Babes in Toyland. If I need to explain to you why that is awesome, I don't know what to tell you. And
the venue's killer. It's at the it's a
Sky
Bar Mondrian
on the 17th.
Oh man,
yes,
that's going to be fun.
So terrific. It's breast cancer awareness. If you can't figure out what you're going to see there, I don't know what to explain. I don't know how else to explain it to you. And so
it is a pink party.
It's a pink party.
So, gentlemen, you have to get your best. I actually ordered a pink shirt.
No, I get it like a pink tie clip.
I'm wearing pink, man. I'm going to go balls to the wall, man.
Yes, a pink handkerchief. Then what we're gonna do
takes a real man to wear pink. Yes.
The 20th to the 27th of October. If you guys still want to join, I think there's 1 or 2 spots left for you to join in Swimsuit USA's World Championship in Puerto Vallarta. If you guys are interested in coming to that, then on the 31st, I'm going to be hosting Tao's $5,000 costume competition here at Tao Nightclub at the Venetian. Yeah. So if you guys are interested in coming to any one of those, you can. And then in November, the only thing I know for sure is that we're going to have another Babes in Toyland for the Midnight Mission, and the Texas Longhorns are going to kick the crew out of the Aggies the day after Thanksgiving.
And what was it? November 7th, I believe, is when we're going to do
our
election day show.
So we're thinking about this. We're thinking about doing Access Vegas.
We were just talking about this.
So you guys, we can watch the election. while we have extremely political women come on here and
I think that would be a great idea.
That's a great idea.
Yes.
If you guys like it, put a 1 in the chat if you guys think that's a great idea. I think that's what we're going to do on November 7th.
We're not pivoting to politics.
Yes.
Well, for one night. Because
after that, we'll all be unbanned. We'll all be off the
yes.
We'll care anymore.
Yeah, the board's cleared. Everybody, so wipe it away.
Just forget all the stuff that happened. I've said this before and I'll say it again. The real reason why manosphere content gets banned is not because it's offensive. It's not because these guys are trying to protect women. It's not for that. It is because it causes minority, Black and Hispanic men to vote Republican. That is the reason why manosphere content is banned. It is it causes, if you listen to Myron, if you listen to any of these other people, it causes them to vote Republican. Even if you don't agree with it, there is a political movement within the manosphere. It is highly, highly conservative. It's more conservative than I am.
Right.
And that conservative movement is causing Indian, Black, Hispanic, Asian, minority men to all vote Republican. Well, that's why they're trying to put us off.
I mean, there's already I see articles on this. I see guys who are like in podcasts talking about this quite a bit. I think even Scott Galloway's been talking about this, is that there's a much broader, much more stark divide between like men and women. Like women tend to vote much more liberal and men tend to be much more conservative as it is in the first place. And I think that I think that a lot of the powers that be think that we're like, not that we are, but they think that we're exacerbating the situation. That's why I'm on a DHS watch list. Yeah. Yes, thank you.
Again, it just never made sense to me because I was like, I just didn't understand, like, why are they making such a big deal about this? Like mid-tier content creators, and they're just coming out. Like, we're not that big.
You put Aaron Clary on that list.
Yeah,
what the fuck were you
people that don't even have like 200,000 followers and they're putting on watch lists. And I was realizing, it's because what it's doing is it's causing, like, the way it used to work for years, but going back to the 1960s, the Democrat Party is where the disenfranchised would go. It's like if you were disenfranchised. So if you're a minority, you would go to the Democrat Party. If you're a woman, you go to the Democrat Party because they would represent the other. They would represent the disenfranchised. What's happened now is, since social media has happened, disenfranchised actually is poor men. Poor men are what's disenfranchised. What happened now, they can't find a wife. The number of men going years without sex is going up so exponentially high. And so what's happened now is these minority men who before would be like, well, I'm going to vote Democrat. They're like, having one wife sounds like a pretty good idea right now. The ability to raise a family sounds like a really good idea right now.
We're going to save the West.
Exactly.
Yes, so we're all going to do what normal people do and save the West.
If you want to know, like, I truly believe, if you were to consider you have a political movement, let's just say the manosphere, if you call it a political movement, it requires zero funding. It's completely self-sustained. And it's actually converting people from one political party to another. Of course, you're on a DHS watch list.
Yeah,
of course you are.
I love it because I get it from both ends. I get it from the traditional conservative side, and then I get it from the really super liberal side now. And both, like the red pill and the manosphere, has just become the whipping boy of both sides of it. And boy, I cannot wait till November 6th, November 7th, when this is all over. Thank you. No more. And it happens in cycles. I mean, I've been talking about this since like probably, a year and a half ago. It's usually like an election cycle goes for 18 months now. It's no longer the year of. It's like it starts like 6 months in the previous year.
Well, it's because you can make money off it.
Oh yeah, especially now more than ever.
It's because now, like, you can make an entire career off just doing political commentary before an election, and when you realize some of these states that are swing states, how much money they get from advertisement, now it's just an incredible money making thing. Because it's an influencer economy.
Yeah,
it's exactly right. Yes.
Well, and then by the way, I would be remiss if I did not bring up the fact that Tenet Media is now being indicted by the Department of Justice for taking $10 million of Russian sort of influence agitprop money. So Lauren Southern, and like the guys, Tim Pool's on that list, Dave Rubin's on that list. There's a lot of like really, you want to talk, they're top tier. They're up. They're certainly not our level, right? They're definitely like A-listers as far as this is concerned. And it's interesting to me. You were right. Yeah, you were freaking.
Well, I was right about the Russia thing.
You were right. Well, you were right about the Russian thing, but no, like when I got put on the when we were talking about how Progressive Victory which is a DNC PAC, a political action committee, is funding people like Destiny and Not So Erudite and some of these Jasmine Jafar, she's been on your show. She's basically copped to all of this stuff. And we were talking about this, and I was bringing this up, saying, these guys are like they're shills. They're shills for the Democratic Party. Yeah. And you told me at the time, you said, but there's probably like conservatives that are doing the same thing.
They're doing the same thing.
Sure enough, now here we are.
Yeah. So the thing is, I've been saying this forever. If you guys want a bunch of comments right now, just make a video and talk about how Russia is wrong for invading Ukraine, and you will get thousands of comments from bots and people who are paid by Russia in order to get on social media and try to change. Like their Kimzit missile was a failure. Their Sukhoi 57s are not stealth. Like they've just one drastic failure after another. I'm not trying to defend Ukraine here. What I'm saying is Russia's invasion of Ukraine has been just a horrible botched failure. And because that's happened, you start seeing, like, I get incredible levels of hate whenever I make videos about Russia and Ukraine, and especially since I'm on the right side of the aisle. I'm supposed to support Russia, which I don't. I grew up in the 1980s. I know the difference between Rocky and Ivan Drago. I know who the fucking bad guy is. It's not Rocky. Russia is not interested in the United States' prosperity. I don't know how people forgot about that over the last 30 years. But anyway, I'm watching this stuff, and I kept saying, like, Scott Ritter, he can't possibly believe this nonsense that he's saying. They were supposed to invade the country in 10 days and it didn't happen. Why is he continuing to spout this nonsense? And then I was like, he must be getting paid.
He's making money off of it.
He must be getting paid. And then I found out
quite a bit.
$10 million, you people. It was so crazy because we would do these debates on whether or not Ukraine had the right to defend itself. And I was like, how can you possibly stand and say anything? So this is not a conservative or liberal thing. Whatever happens between Ukraine and Russia has nothing to do with politics in the United States. And somehow we got dragged into it. And I just think the whole thing is
so a part of this whole thing, and we'll stop after this, but the part of this thing is like Tim Pool it's been said that he's been taking like $100,000, $200,000 per episode for this.
Yeah.
He says, but that's like the going rate. He's like, we get anywhere between 100,000 and 200,000 live viewers at a time. I'm like, well, if that's the logic, then like I should be making about $3,600, maybe $5,000 per episode of the Rational Mail when I go on.
The difference is
I don't see that coming in.
The difference is my audience actually votes. That's the difference. You should be paying me more. My audience actually has an education and votes. So I'm the one you should be worried about. All right. So
what do we want to get to? Do you want to?
Dude, actually, I want to do the. Could you have the Tyreek Hill thing?
I have Tyreek Hill.
All right, guys. So let's talk about this. So you guys have noticed before, and this is for anybody who's in Men of Action or considering joining Men of Action. We talk about the difference between the alpha way of being and the beta way of being. We talk about the difference between, if you guys watch Californications, any of you ladies watch Californication, the difference between how Hank Moody acted and the way Runkle act. Or anybody watch Suits? You guys watch Suits? The difference between Harvey Specter and Louis Litt. Louis Litt by the way, Rick Hoffman.
Y'all know that one.
Yeah. Rick Hoffman, but Rick Hoffman, who's the best actor on the entire show, his whole job is to be a beta male the whole time. He gets angry, everything, all of his decisions are emotional, and Harvey always has the right answer. He's supposed to project the alpha male. Well, this is a great example. I would want to show the video of the arrest and the release of Tyreek Hill. This is what a beta male looks like. This is what beta male behavior looks like. We want to show this real quick. Pull this up.
You want to
go back a
little bit.
Go back to before he gets out of the car. Back a little bit more. Go back more. Start right there.
Right here?
Yep, right there.
Give me up. We'll break that freaking window. Get out of the car. Get out of the car right now. We're not playing this game. Get out. 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 What part of that don't you understand? Hey, Drew, I'm getting arrested, Drew. I'm getting arrested. Drew. I'm getting out.
Most of you people have already probably seen this. He's saying, I'm getting arrested. Drew's got to knee in the guy's back, and then they put the handcuffs on him, and he continues to threaten.
Not for you, but what we tell you. You're a little fucking confused.
I'm getting out, bro.
Too late.
Chill,
Too late.
All right, bro. Take me to jail, bro. Do what you got to do, bro.
We are. We will.
Good, bro.
It is good.
Hey, Drew, hey.
Don't worry about it. I hung up the phone. You stop crying.
Bro, y'all.
Again, stop crying. Is that his job as a police officer to say
You
this?
my window like you crazy.
Set him up.
Why y'all beating on my window like y'all crazy for?
I think one of them does say it's Tyreek Hill in the camera, right? The guy who's doing it. The officer who's overreacting, he's been on the force for 27 years.
I ain't do nothing, twin.
I want to see this part where they make him get down again.
Park there.
Hey. Hold on, bro. I just had surgery on my knee. bro. I just had surgery on my knee, bro.
I just had surgery in your ears when we told you to put your window down.
Chill, bro. Hey, don't do, bro.
Back up.
Hey, call Drew.
Okay, fast forward to the part where he's talking to Calais Campbell.
Hey, call Drew.
I don't want to take the whole 3 minutes here, but I think this part is really important here. Come about the when they get up here, about right there, stop.
The cops over
Okay,
here
guys, that's
beating
Calais
on us.
Campbell.
They over here beating on
He's
Tyreek, man.
6'9". He weighs 300 pounds. He's the NFL Man of the Year, 2019 Man of the Year.
Right up the side, on the
Being
side of
the
the
most upstanding member of the entire NFL.
You're parked at the middle of the street.
I'm in the car.
You gotta go before you get a ticket.
I'm not in the car.
Who's the driver? This is my car.
All right, move.
I'll take that.
You gotta move right now.
Let me have your license. You're gonna have ticket too. I'm coming. Let me have your license. You're gonna have ticket. Let me have your license. I'm leaving. I'm not playing. Let me have your license. Your license right now. What's going on?
Your license right now. You're not gonna give me your license.
You're not gonna give me your license. I'm leaving.
Let me have your license. Your license right now.
Sir,
Hey, your license right now.
I'm leaving.
Or I'm gonna lock you up. Your license right now.
He just told me to
Your
leave.
license right now.
Sir, he just-
You're dealing with me now.
Sir.
Your license right now.
All right, let's pause this. Can we come off here real quick? Let's go back to we've seen enough. The reason why I want to show this is because we see a situation where they see a guy in a McLaren, whatever. There may be a racial component to this as well. But my point is, this is massive levels of overreaction. This is how you see it. If you guys want to know, we go over what does Louis Litt do versus what does Harvey Specter do? What does the alpha male versus the beta male do? The alpha male is not intimidated by the fact that these guys are bigger, stronger, and have nicer cars. That McLaren's over $1 million, maybe around $2 million, and that the Bentley in the front, the Rolls Royce. The Rolls Royce is about 1.1 million. It might be more than that. I'm not sure. Maybe 1.7 million. Anyway, you can see like the intimidation. I need to show off. I need to let people know. And by the way, another thing happened is there was so many people filming it. I don't know if you saw, what was the other one that just happened recently where they lost the body camera footage? I can't remember what it was. And that's what I thought was going to happen here. This is just a situation, guys. Like this guy, the guy who's screaming at Tyreek Hill, is basically a YouTube commenter. He's a TikTok commenter. Can you imagine him screaming at Calais Campbell in like a bar fight? Calais Campbell would literally kill him. And this is a situation where like, I've got my friends here and now I'm going to try to bum rush this person. So I just want you to understand. The other thing I want to point out is when the ladies were watching this, they had the same visceral reaction I did. This guy's trying too hard. Does everybody understand? He's trying to yell too loud. Like this person that dude right there who was screaming has been cheated on by his girlfriend. I'll say this right now. I don't care. I guarantee you. Let me say this real quick. The dude who's in that video, I guarantee you, I will bet you any amount of money, has been cheated on by multiple girlfriends because his hyper beta reactivity. Does everybody understand? Ladies, what do you think?
If he even has a girlfriend.
No, but I'm telling you, at some point, like that's the behavior of someone who like doesn't know how to deal with stuff. Sydney, what do you think?
Right.
Yes. If you're an alpha, you're a peacemaker, you're composed. If you're that, no, you're emotional. That's a chick. So that's what I think. I'm like, ooh, scary.
I just think it
It's almost
shows
an
how
insult
like
to chicks,
almost
to be honest.
emotional he was. Like,
Yeah.
like I can't let him like make me feel inferior at all.
Wait, but he needs to make that other guy feel inferior. Does that make he needs to make the guy with the McLaren feel inferior? Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What I think.
I think he was just like, I'm not gonna cuss right now, but he was really just the B.
Yeah.
Right.
Well-
Like I was annoyed by him. I was annoyed listening to him. I was annoyed by every movement that he did because it was so unnecessary and so extra.
By the way, the officer has every right to pull him over because he was speeding. It was they
Totally.
visually clocked him
Correct.
at 60 miles
But
an
it
hour.
went
He has every
way
right
too
to even
far.
ask him to roll down the window. He does not have the right to pound on the window
Yeah.
then, which is what he did next. And then to pull him out for being uncooperative, then you don't need to say, he goes, quit crying. Like, again, stuff like that is just so incredibly unnecessary.
Totally.
And it's so outside the purview of your job to protect and serve. And here's the craziest part. Do you know what Tyreek Hill does in the offseason? He's training to be a police officer.
Oh my
convenient.
god!
Yeah.
I hope they're on the same force.
I
did not know that.
You know, Shaquille O'Neal
Wow.
was a police officer as well. What do you guys think?
I love Shaq.
I think if he didn't have the uniform on, he wouldn't have acted
Nice.
Dude, no one would act like that in front of Calais
Thank you
Campbell
so much.
if he didn't have the uniform. Exactly.
I mean, to anyone else either.
Yeah. Yeah.
No,
Aria, what do you think?
I think that he was like 5'3" and he thought that badge gave him like powers that he didn't really have.
Boosted his height
It's
a
the
little bit
same.
more.
It's the same kind of people that when the mask thing was going on and you took a sip and they're like, put your mask back on. I'm like,
I'm fine. with
Bro.
it.
Yeah, right.
Chill.
Yeah.
I take them all.
it's just a power trip.
Like you'd be on the, I remember that you would be on the plane and they'd be like, okay, you have to put your mask on in between each sip.
The amount of
In
fights
between
I
each bite,
almost
like,
got
You
ripped
can't
off
be on this
planes.
plane. Yeah.
What the fuck are you talking
No.
about?
I hated that.
I like what you had to say though, because one of the characteristics I think of sort of like at least a guy, we can use the term alpha if you like, but a guy who has a sense of control, a state control, is not reactive. Like if you've ever seen like a lion, like on the savannas or something like that, it's not put off by little minor things that are coming around it. It's just sort of like, because it knows that it can take care of its own. Totally. It knows that it's confident in its own abilities to be able to kick ass if it has to, right? And there's a difference between being assertive and being reactive, being like jumpy and everything. And I was going to also ask you this: do you think that the guy said, and maybe you guys can answer too, that the reason why he was like, "Hey, stop crying," do you think he said that because he knew he was on video at that time?
No,
do you think he was like posting up because he was on video?
I've read both sides, and what's happened is because he rolled the window back up, and Tyreek was like, "I don't want the window down because people are filming you right now, and they're going to see me getting like." I'm the one who's going to catch heat for this. He goes, I can see every one of these cameras of people who are driving by. They see my McLaren, and you've got my window rolled down, and everyone can see Tyreek Hill is getting pulled over by a cop. So I'm going to roll my window up. That's why he did it. Yeah. The officer was so infuriated by that he's like, he pulls him out of the car. That's the reason why he did it. And then when he says stop crying, because he's like, hey, man, like whatever, take me to jail, do whatever. Because Tyreek Hill in his mind is like, my lawyers are going to get you fired from your job. No matter what happens here. This is going to end
where you win.
Like Tyreek Hill, I don't know if you guys know, I think he has 6 different baby's mamas now.
Yes.
He's had children. He's had children with like 4 different women in the last year, and he just got married 2 years ago. Yeah, like Tyreek Hill is going to go back to his life, and he's the top 10 highest paid players in the entire NFL. He's going to go back to his awesome life. He's going to run a 4.140, and right after this, he scored an 80-yard touchdown. And at the end, the celebration, he put his hands behind his back, and they walked him off the field like he was in
baller.
I mean, just the ultimate. And the thing is, and the thing, like I want to say this again, Tyreek Hill very much supports the police department. He wants that officer fired, totally. And I get it because that's the thing. It's the de-escalation part is. Again, this is not a function. I support the police absolutely because the reason why is because I was surrounded by so many great police officers growing up in East Dallas and South Dallas. A lot of them were mentors of mine, and I saw them. They would de-escalate situations because nothing's worth taking a bullet for no reason. Right. You de-escalate these situations. That's what alpha males do. Alpha males are like, I don't need to prove to you anything. Does that make sense? Yeah. Beta males, what they need to do is they need to pound their chest. They need to let you feel. They want you to feel the pain that they have to feel every day. Because in his life, he's like, in his line of work or whatever, like that guy is taking something else out in his life on Tyreek Hill. And probably doing so because Tyreek Hill will always have more money, more women, more fame, more status, more access than that guy will ever have in his life. And he needs him to feel that way. Does that make sense? Meanwhile, for me, it's like, I'm not the one getting hit. Like, I don't care. Right. Like, Tyreek Hill, I love it. You know why? Because I play with Madden. I love playing with Tyreek Hill. He's super fast. 99 speed, Tyreek Hill. He's great.
You command respect, not demand it.
Yes, exactly.
There you go.
Well, even like the officer from the beginning. Like,
it's almost like you've been reading my book.
Excessive force. Like as soon as he got on the ground, he was complying, but the first thing that he said was like, "Stop resisting." When it's like he's not resisting at all. You're just trying to be forceful.
He wanted to get famous quick. That's what it was.
Yeah. Well, he's famous. He was put on
TMZ picked that up and was like, "Who's that guy?"
One of the things that also bothered me a little bit was that the police officers union put out their side of the story, basically saying that Mr. Hill would not comply when the body cam footage came out, which they tried to suppress. As soon as it comes out, then they put him on administrative leave. Well, no, why didn't you listen before? Like it's one of these situations. It's just really ugly situation. I support the police officer, but the thing that I think a lot of people misunderstand when the situation with Lindsay Hill or Amber Heard, because they were saying that they were assaulted when they weren't assaulted, they made it harder for other women who were assaulted. This police officer makes it harder for other police officers. I want you guys to understand. Good police officers have a hard time because of bad police officers. Yes. That's the reason why they're going to have an issue, because this guy has an axe to grind. And unfortunately, a lot of people who have that axe to grind and were picked on in high school become police officers. Right. And that's where the issue happens as well. And we've done a terrible job in this country by deriding police officers, law enforcement in general, making fun of them so much that people don't want it. That used to be in the 1950s and 1980s. Yes. Being a police officer demanded respect. That was a very, very noble thing you did. And I still think it's a noble thing, but we've ruined it. And part of the reason why we ruined it, not ruined it, Part of the reason why we ruined it is because we started filming them. We started having body cams. We started seeing that all those things that people said about police brutality, a lot of them were true. A lot of these things, cops taking money under the table, a lot of it was true. And so what's happened is it's a good thing. Now police departments can say, hey, we're being filmed. We're more accountable. Now we can all follow the rules and try to do a better job. But bad officers make it harder for good officers. That's the only problem. That's the issue I see.
You don't hear about the planes landing. You hear about the crash.
Yes.
So.
Right. You
That's
remember
exactly
your bad experiences more than you remember the good.
Awesome.
Just to play devil's advocate here, though,
Okay.
like if you're a police officer and you're telling somebody, give me your license, or get on the ground or comply with this, like what's he supposed to do though?
I think
he said get on the ground, but he's like he was getting on the ground. The guy came around and choked him. And then put him down.
And there's like levels of de-escalation. Like when you're in the power position, like a police officer is, especially like when they approach you, that you have to be the bigger person in the situation. You can't. I would not
that's
have
your job. You're the professional.
I wouldn't have a problem if he had taken him out of the car and arrested him. I actually wouldn't even had a problem with that. That would have been fine. That's not what happened though. Then it was verbal insults combined with a rear naked choke to put him on the ground, then to put him on his face, to step on his back, to tell him to stop crying, and then to arrest the Walter Payton Man of the Year, Calais Campbell. Yes. Like to me, this is excessive. This means like read the room. Right. Like there's some level of autism going on here. Read the room. All of this is being filmed. You are not going to win here. No. This is terrible. You know what they love in Miami? The Dolphins. They love the Dolphins. And so you're sitting here arresting like two of their best players. This is not going to work out well for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm looking at the chat right here, and it's like, what's he supposed to like? I'll just read this to you. It says, when a guy does not take orders, an officer must be like, what? Okay, no worries.
Like, no, absolutely. He should have done. Again, I would have.
Like, what's the proper protocol?
I would have had no problem with him even arresting Tyreek Hill for him not following orders. That's not what he did. What he did beyond there was he needed to dunk on Tyreek Hill. Yeah. That's what he needed Tyreek Hill to feel some kind of way. That's what happened next. And in the end, he's the one who's going to end up being fired. You can ask that question, and I can show you videos of hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of stops by the police where people don't follow orders and they de-escalate. So the fact that this happened, that the answer is that.
So, yeah, I was going to say
the answer is de-escalation.
The other part is like the.
Well, hold on. Let me say one other thing. Let's just say there is a weapon in the car. Let's say there's another friend there who's armed. Do you think that the police officers de-escalated and made their life safer by acting like this? No, they didn't. No. They made it worse for themselves. The police actually, by escalating this, made it worse for themselves. They made it worse on themselves because what's going to happen now is this is one of the issues that happens when you just systematically go off and do stuff like this. You're making it more dangerous for yourself. But you should de-escalate. Dude, a bullet is a bullet. I don't care how tough you talk. Right. Nobody wants to get shot. I don't care if you're a police officer or whoever. Escalating things for no reason, it doesn't help anyone. It just doesn't. So that's my whole issue there.
What video is next? What do we want to go to?
Let's just pick one. Let's just go down. We got so many to go through.
Run down. Okay, we'll just run down the gamut here.
My new girlfriend to the bar and she knew every guy there. Hug after hug after hug.
Dude, you're gonna make so many new connections.
That's what I'm saying, dude. I can't believe it. Every weekend she goes out, she doesn't text me for 3 days after. I wait till Monday to get a response from her.
Dude, she sounds hella independent.
That's what I'm saying, dude. I've never met a girl where I get so much freedom from. Yeah, bro, she still texts her ex-boyfriend every day to see how he's doing.
She sounds super caring.
That's what I'm saying, bro. She has such a kind heart. Yeah, dude, she has the entire Lakers roster on her phone.
Oh my God, you can go to every single game.
That's what I'm saying, bro. I just hit courtside seats, dude. Oh! Yeah, my new girlfriend, her ex-boyfriend's 57 years old.
She sounds hella mature for her age.
That's what I'm saying, bro. I needed a mature girl in my life. Every girl I've been dating is so immature. I know. Finally, someone understands me.
I need to know his girlfriend. That guy.
Seems like a really cool person to be friends with.
Right?
Seems like a really cool person to be friends with. A terrible person to date. What do you think about the video?
Like I just said, I want to see his actual dating life.
Yeah.
Let's see if you.
I mean, it's a parody, but
it's a parody. Yeah. Yes, of course.
What do you think, Summer?
I think it's funny. Yeah, I want to meet the girl. I want to see what we get.
Okay, this guy's your brother.
I want to party with her.
Do you think some of these things are red flags? She has the entire Lakers roster on her phone. She knew every single security guard and VIP host at the club.
Her ex is 57 years old.
57 years old. Do you think these are red flags?
I caught that.
I would tell my brother, okay, take a couple steps back.
Okay, got it. What do you think?
I think it just sounds like any bottle girl in Vegas. It looks like her
Both things
phone.
can be true. Red flag and bottle. I think both things
Like,
can be
which one
true.
is she?
Red flags or green flags.
What do you think,
Not
Miss Monterey?
marrying them.
Yeah, I think they're all red flags.
Yeah, they're red
Every
flags.
single one of them.
What do you think, Arya?
I tell him to hang in there. He's going to be a trophy husband in no
Trophy
time.
husband. If he does it well, yeah.
57-year-olds coming through.
I was gonna say, does the girlfriend know that she's his girlfriend?
Probably not.
It
I mean, to
seems
be
like
fair,
one of
I
those-
guarantee you, when she's having a conversation with whoever on the Lakers, she's like, "Yeah, I'm single." I probably tells people she's single.
It's definitely giving fluctuation.
So why is this funny, Mike? Tell us why this is
So-
funny.
so-
I'll tell you why it is, but you tell me why it is.
So the reason why this is funny is because if you bring this up a different way and it's not funny, then women are like, "Why are you so insecure?"
True.
Again, if I have friends and I have female friends and I put them in very different categories. The ones that I would consider dating do not know every single VIP host in Vegas. That is not just because we stop in, we land on the plane in Ibiza and she's like, "I fucking hate oh god damn it, do it again. I hate this
We're
club.
past 20 minutes. You're good.
I hate this club, but I love this club. And the GM here kicked me out. And like, you shouldn't know all this. Like, I don't want you to know all this. It's like the things that make men professionally viable, their experience does also make them attractive to women. The things that make women attractive to men, their femininity, does not include experience. And so because of that, that's why these things are very different. Does that make sense? Yeah. Anybody disagree? Am I coming off as judgmental? If you guys think I am, just let me know.
No.
Yes. But
I
you
think
should
it's
be.
weird that guys don't want women to have any kind of like
No,
experience.
not
like,
any kind of experience. You can have some experience. The whole thing, I think what's been overplayed is the idea that we all want virgins. That is not what we're saying.
Yes.
But what we wouldn't want is like a long period of time where it's just like indiscriminate sex with whoever and then lying to everyone about how many people you slept with and then thinking that it wasn't going to affect you later on in life. When it might. I think that's what they want. But it's not a thing of like virginity.
Yeah, what does that have to do with like traveling? We were talking about traveling, right?
It's pretty rare. The next girl that I know that goes to Dubai by herself that isn't getting paid for it will be the first.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, why do you want a girl that hasn't like seen the world? Like, I understand you want
Well,
to
the
do that with
expectation
you.
that is now put on the guy, like, oh, I've been here, oh, I've been there. It's like, okay, well, what's exciting to you now?
There's a whole
like,
world of places that we
But I
haven't
also
been.
think like guys like to be the first for something. Like I might have been to Hawaii, but my future man or whatever might go to Hawaii and teach and take me to different places that I've never been in. That's a first. So he's teaching me something new and it's a new experience and that gives their ego like a little bit of a boost to know.
Yeah, but it also solidifies the relationship too.
But I wasn't his first, so.
But our duty is to lead. Oh, not lead.
No,
to
their
nurture.
duty is to
I think
lead.
it's to nurture in a sense and then follow the man. Like if
Or-
you're in that position, then like.
Oh yeah, I'll tell you why. Here's the reason why. I live in Las Vegas, where a lot of women do come travel. I'm in one of those Ibiza, Burning Man, Coachella, Dubai. Like Las Vegas is in the Brickell. We're in the circle. We're in the circuit. The yearly circuit everyone goes because F1 is here. And so when we're here, I watch these girls who come here and they're in a relationship, but they won't tell anybody about it. And they're very much intent on, if they meet a celebrity, to go home and have sex with them. And I don't know that benefits her future relationships.
No.
Do you not agree, Arya?
I think I am misconstruing the conversation. What I'm saying is if I start dating this guy and I've traveled with a previous guy, then
No,
that
if you
guy-
travel with the previous guy, that's fine. That's not what we're talking
fine.
about. We're not talking about travel with the previous guy. We're talking about like well, if we go to Zook, I should know everyone there. It's not your job to do that. Do you understand? If we go there and it's like, oh my God, yeah, I'm friends with this guy, and it's like one male model VIP host after another. It's like he's like my best friend. He's like, I sleep on his couch sometimes, and we're just like blah 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 whatever. I'm like, no, you don't tell me you haven't had sex with any of these dudes because I know you have. Like it's just that part makes it kind of ridiculous. And even if you haven't, like there's an ickiness to it, if that makes any sense.
Okay.
Right?
Don't go on a date with a girl who says she knows the drummer in the band that you're about to see because guaranteed she's fucked the drummer.
I feel like I have a different perspective on that.
Go ahead.
Just because like I moved from Denver here and in Denver I could say I was pretty like in a bubble. Like Vegas is a completely different circle. I can view what you're saying is the girl shouldn't know everybody there, but like I dated a director of Tao Hospitality and I was shown around and brought and introduced to people as a respectable, classy girlfriend.
Yeah, but it's a girlfriend.
As the girlfriend.
Yeah, it's totally
and
fine.
now that's relationship sailed and it's gone. Now I am the girl who knows everybody in the club, but it's not for the reasons why other girls are there.
So let me say this also. The girl who does know everyone in the club, I love them. They're my friends. I just don't want to date them. Like there's this one girl who I hang out with in Miami, and I call her, like, do you guys remember Emmett Smith and Moose Johnson, who's a fullback for Emmett Smith back in the day? I call her my Moose Johnson because everywhere we go, she just blocks for me. She just shows up. She kisses one of the security guards on the mouth. She kisses this other guy on the cheek, and we just effortlessly walk into VIP. And I'm like, I love this girl. She's great. I would never date her. But she knows everyone. She gets me access to what was that one clip we watched? She goes, here's the networking secret that's going to get me canceled. You need to be friends with more hoes. Yeah, it's true. Like that's absolutely the truth. I'm not, again, I love having friends that are like this. Some of my closest friends are adult actresses. That's not my issue. But I don't necessarily want to date them. That's the only issue here. And I don't think the reason why it was so funny is because it's very clear it's very difficult to have a stable relationship with a girl who has the entire Lakers roster in their phone, even if it is Jeannie Buss.
But she's also a bad bitch. So choose your poison. She's a bad bitch for sure.
Yes.
Step your cookies up.
So I'm going to ruin everything and explain the humor here. The reason why this is funny is because the guy is making rationalizations for this girl's behavior, right? So everything that comes out, oh man, she's so great. She's really secure in herself. So, and I see this happening a lot more with guys than I do. Like sometimes you'll hear girls.
Yeah, but he's making rationalizations that girls have already made.
They've already made, yes. And so he's basically using female language to justify. I mean, that's where the humor is, of course. But you'll also hear, especially more sort of beta male guys, will try to make concessions. And this is how they make concessions, because they buy into the bullshit. They buy into the feminine language bullshit. And that's why this shit's funny.
No, it is pretty funny. All right. So anybody else have anything? I thought this was hilarious. Anyway, let's keep going.
All right. Let's do Slump Busters.
Very, 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 very last option if you want to get yourself out of a drought and you can't get any buns. I wouldn't even recommend this. Head over to Facebook and find a group like this. A lot of people struggle getting prego and they need a donor. They also have groups like this on Reddit and Google. You can find these a lot everywhere. So to actually get in, you just have to enter a little bit of information. Right here where it says which methods would you prefer, you want to select natural insemination. That's basically saying if you want my baby, we got to make it the right way. We're not inserting tubes or none of that. Now here is where you want to outsmart these bots. You want to go ahead and get yourself a vasectomy. Don't worry, it's reversible. So you're going to go on a crazy run of just having people think that you're going to bless them with a child. And then every 2 weeks, they're going to tell you that it didn't work. So they're going to come back and ask for more. So you can have a whole roster, a whole entire schedule of you just doing this. And these girls will fly you out. These girls are desperate to have a child. Most of the time, too, it'd be lesbian couples. And oh my God, the studs, man. The studs are taking over 2024. Check out my exclusive content for my in-game footage of me on the court, my highlights. But after you're done going on a 10-year run, a 12-year run, whatever you want, you want to go ahead and reverse the vasectomy. It's a little expensive, but you will have the money by then. I would rather you guys just stick with the registered offenders, bro, because this is kind of fucked up, and it's really down bad. This is bottom of the barrel. If you're really going to do this, I will take down all your social media and just go ghost until you're done doing this.
Oh, my God.
I didn't watch the whole thing. That was hilarious. Okay, you didn't hear what he said? He goes, if you're having a really, really hard time as a man finding a woman to hook up with,
get after it.
What you need to do is go into a Facebook group where women are trying to get pregnant, and then select natural insemination. He goes, what, insemination or whatever? Insemination. Natural insemination. So basically, you're going to go find these women who want to get pregnant, have sex with them. They fly you out. But he goes, get a vasectomy before you do this. And they go have sex with all these women. And they'll pay you $1,000.
Yes.
And then afterwards, you take the money from all the vasectomies and get the reversal vasectomy. And then he goes, you have a rotation.
And then also the crazy part of him saying he wants to do it for 10 to 12 years.
Yes. After 10 to 12 years of having sex with women on a Facebook Get Me Pregnant group.
I know where he got this idea from, though. Yeah. Because there's a documentary video going around. I don't know if it might be on Vice, but somebody sent this to me last week, and it's this guy, and they follow the dude around, and he is a sperm donor, but he's a free agent, sperm donor, right? So it's not like he's going to a fertility clinic. He is on those. There are literally Facebook and I guess probably Discord
Reddit
user groups, where they're looking for a donor for a sperm donor. They don't want to go through like a fertility clinic. And he was right about the lesbian couples primarily. But and you can say, well, I can rub one out and give it to you like in a sample, or we can just, hook up and there you go. And then you have to go through like the protocol of like saying, well, I'm not going to be responsible for this child. You guys know this. Here's the legalities of it. There's actually a process you have to do. But they followed this guy on Vice. They followed him around, and the guy's fathered probably over like 80 children at this point.
Is this the Netflix documentary where it's like 1,000 kids?
I think that might be it. Yeah, it was the Netflix documentary.
Yeah.
It was. But I thought it was Vice that was doing it. But it's Netflix that's doing 1,000 kids.
Wow.
And they fought, and the guy is probably in his
hot?
mid to late 20s.
Like we need to know if he's hot. Like, is he tall? Like, does he have like good
genes?
Are we having
that family tree? Honestly, like making sure that they don't meet each other.
But no, seriously. And the other thing is like there's, especially in Scandinavian countries, like in Denmark and Norway and Finland, and then a little bit I think also in Holland. They're having a problem right now because there's so many sperm donors that are like these free agent sperm donors that they're the most popular ones, and they're the ones that like all the women like refer to their friends. Hey, I had a baby with this guy. You want to use his sperm, kind of thing. And the problem is like now they're worried about inbreeding because they don't know like whether or not that's your half sister or your half brother.
Oh my god! How do they not do like a whole?
There's some Danish soccer player who's like fathered like
hundreds of kids.
Hundreds of kids.
Exactly.
Like they go to these sperm clinics, and all the women pick the same guy.
Yeah, they all, and I think that's interesting. Is they all pick the same guy.
Yeah.
He's also a soccer player. He's also they don't pick. That's the thing I love this because I get this all the time. Like they say, well, women want to find a guy who's intelligent. He's a lawyer. He's a doctor, a surgeon, whatever. No, they want the hot guy. That's what they look for. It's like all that shit flies out the window when they're picking the baby daddy. The guy has to be hot.
You have to also be Jewish. Aren't they like the smartest like people and the richest?
Here we go.
Sorry, isn't that true? Like there's
what's your last name? Bird? Okay.
There you go. Okay,
I think it's like natural selection, though. Like the more attractive you are, the more people want to have kids with you.
If you were going to have a baby, would you select for intelligence, or would you select? Would you look for the hottest?
I mean,
guy?
if I could get to know somebody, like I would definitely choose intelligence, but like naturally we're drawn to who makes us who's attractive.
Yeah, there's actually a scientific
don't tell Mac and Murphy or Alex from Dateside.
Yeah.
They will
you should look up sexy sons hypothesis. It's basically the idea that you see, if you were attracted to me, it's because you see things you want your sons to have.
Totally.
If your sons had my genetics,
and I think
therefore
that's
they would
very
have
natural.
Yeah,
I think
sure.
guys would
it's not just natural. It's like it's the only way the species. You have to consider. There's a point. I want to say 300,000 years ago where there were only something like 10,000 humans left on the planet. They weren't Homo sapiens. They were some other like Homo australis or something like that. And when they were
hairless murder apes.
Yeah, when they were in that place, basically all of our proclivities came from those 16,000 people. Like that was it. And so one of the things was I need to only breed with the most fertile people possible in order for my line to continue. And so that genetic proclivity was carried on. And the people who didn't look at that, like there were probably proclivities for people to look for unsymmetrical faces, or there's probably proclivities for people to jump off of cliffs, well, probably not because we descended from apes. And apes are, they don't do that. They have a fear of heights.
We did.
And fear of fire.
What?
But the thing is, in general, if you had an ancestor that had no fear of heights, no fear of snakes, no fear of alligators, no fear of sharks, whatever, they would have died, and they would have never been able to pass along their genes. And so that's essentially what's going on here. That's why you would have that feeling. And me as a man, if I'm going to be attracted to a hip to waist ratio, where the waist is smaller than the hips, and why is that? It's because fertile women have that body characteristic.
Right. The odds
younger
of
women
having
carry
a live birth
babies.
are
higher. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yes. I was also going to say, this guy right here, people are saying, oh, this is a hoax or this is a joke or something. I don't necessarily think he's actually doing this, but the fact that he figured this shit out, that's the code in the Matrix.
My favorite thing is you have to get off of social media. You have to get.
Yeah,
He goes. You have to get
completely
off. By the way, there's those things. Are we dating the same guy? Have you guys seen that?
I've seen that.
Yeah. Apparently, I'm in one of them. Kindly Myers sent it to, and I don't know why. Why would I be in there? I don't understand. That makes no sense.
Are you a serial
Well, I'm not dating
dater?
anyone. Like, I don't understand what the fuck you're talking about. Like, why? Oops, I did it again. I'm sorry.
How many girlfriends do you have?
Probably the catfish.
Like, why would I be? It just says, it goes, would anyone know anything about Michael Sartain? It's a picture of me, and I was like, I didn't put, he goes, some of these guys are putting themselves in here. And I was like, I have no idea about this. I was actually kind of offended.
Of course.
Why would you want to put yourself in there?
And of course, it would be Kindly Myers who would.
Yeah, kindly found it. One of my best friends kindly found it.
She's in the groups.
Yes.
Oh, dude, if I could get in those.
Of any of the girls it would be Kindly.
Yeah, I'm a guy, so they don't let me in those groups. I would love to be in those groups. Are we dating the same guy? I would be. Oh my gosh. Because I want to see the dudes. I want to see the dudes that are like dating all these girls.
They're always gross.
They're always gross.
I never understood it. I'm like, how is the
guys that get the access? I want to see. I actually want to see who these guys
are.
They're
always nasty.
I think it would be very informative for a lot of men to see who these guys are.
You look through the pictures and you it's gotta be a big
really?
dick. Gotta
Multiple
be a big
women?
dick. Yeah.
Are they skinny guys?
I don't know even.
They're all kinds.
Skinny
but
guys
they're
always
never
have big
attractive.
dicks.
They're never
Weirdly
attractive.
No.
They're never attractive and they always look broke.
Yeah, or like serial killers.
Oh, trust me, if they were
serial killers,
if they were
the big
broke, listen, if they were rich, no one would be asking if we're dating the same guy.
Yeah.
They'd be just fine with it.
Like,
There'd be no website for women complaining about the rich men. They just date them. That's not an issue. The issue is when they're sharing a guy and he's broke. Then they got to make a Facebook group about it. There's no Facebook group for the super rich guy who pays for dinner.
Right.
They don't make Facebook groups complaining about those guys. Those guys are fine.
Justin Waller is on any group.
Yeah, not at all. Waller's not on any group list whatsoever. He's just fine.
Let me get some of these super chats here. Rational Redneck says, question for Mike. As a former military man, what was the bigger F up, the invasion of Russia by the Ukraine or the Afghan withdrawal?
Oh, that's a good one. I didn't really think you'd go that way. The Afghan withdrawal, the reason why that one was bad is because it was totally avoidable. What you do is you make the Afghan government meet certain requirements, and then so you met requirement A, 30,000 troops go away. You meet requirement B, another 30,000 troops. And you do it over a period of time, and then when you're supposed to be gone, you still leave troops there.
Yes.
Like you don't, you make it, the pullout needs to be completely and totally uncontrollable, unpredictable. Does that make sense?
Right.
So because that was very avoidable, I think that one was
bigger screw up.
way more avoidable. The thing with Russia is because Ukraine had flirted with the idea of being in NATO, that's like really going to crush their economy if Ukraine starts selling their own oil to NATO. And if they became part of NATO, if they start selling their oil to the EU or selling their oil to Germany. Germany bought I want to say of Russia's oil supply, Germany buys like 35% of it, some crazy number like that. The other issue was if Ukraine somehow does become part of NATO, now they get F-35s like Finland did, then that's a problem because now they have air supremacy over Russia. So I think in the situation with Russia, I understand why they did it. My point is there were ways for them to avoid getting to this point that they didn't listen to. And Ukraine only exists because United States, United Kingdom, and Russia agreed to the boundaries of Ukraine because Ukraine gave up their nukes back in the 90s. That's the reason why that happened. So to me, which was more avoidable, the withdrawal from Afghanistan was way more avoidable.
Right. Okay. Just full disclosure, that'll be $100,000.
Yeah, for sure.
That right there.
Sure.
Now, send it to Access Vegas, Las Vegas.
Now, if we're talking about an invasion, I think the land invasion of Ukraine is the single worst land invasion of the last 100 years. Now, if we go more than 100 years, I think Germany's invasion of France in World War I would be the worst. I mean, that was an absolute just debacle.
Right.
But other than that, and then. Yeah, because I would say Germany's invasion of Russia in 1944 would be terrible because they lost everyone, but Russia lost 25 million people. So that one would be pretty bad for both sides. But the single worst, like most purposeless land invasion I've ever seen is Russia's invasion of Ukraine. They've gotten nowhere. They're losing more troops than Russia. Watch, you see the bots. They'll pop up in the bottom telling me I'm wrong. No, this is all propaganda. Our Kimsit missile works. It's gotten so bad that they're actually saying that Russia could stand up to the United States.
Of course, now everybody's going to jump all over this and be all literal about
it.
Yes,
I have fucked both Jason Love and Jason.
I don't know how I'm going to go about this, but let me see if I can do this. I need everyone's top 5 books they recommend. Everybody in the back too. My favorite authors right now are Ayn Rand and Rollo. So
they're the same. I think
shout out to the real ones.
If you notice, you've never seen Ayn Rand and Rollo in the same room at the same time. Has anybody noticed that?
Let's just go. Let's do. What's your favorite book?
Just one book.
One book.
Yeah,
Name one book.
I'm rereading Relentless by Tim Grover.
Tim Grover's terrific. So are you into basketball at all?
I am when hopefully the Lakers get their shit together.
What?
Do you have,
No.
do you have all their numbers?
No. I'm sorry. I'm not on Raya. If anyone has a referral for me to get on Raya.
To get on Raya so you can go out with them?
Yeah. Aria, what's your favorite book? What's the book you're reading right now?
Relentless is a great book, by the way. Great book. Go ahead.
The Law of Human Nature by Robert
There you
Greene.
go.
Okay. Interesting. Miss Monray?
Probably The Art of Not Giving a F.
Yes.
Oh, Mark Manson.
Yeah, Mark Manson, a great book. It's incredible that he wrote that book and being such an incredible progressive, like pansy liberal. I just don't understand. Yeah. What a great book, though. It is a terrific book. But I watch some of his political stuff and I'm like, dude, are you blind? Like, I don't know what he's talking about. Go ahead.
Letting Go.
I don't know that one.
David R. Hodkins.
Okay.
It's the best book ever. All about your subconsciousness and just the levels of that.
I just read Talking to Strangers.
Oh, interesting.
I don't know who by, but it was very good. Very good read.
Atomic Habits.
Atomic Habits is good. Yeah, it's definitely
Atomic
good.
Habits.
You should try. You should read Atomic Attraction. It's an interesting book. It basically goes over like hundreds of evolutionary psychology studies. The book, all it does is, it's a really cool book.
What's the last book you read?
I just finished Speak to Sell by Dan Kennedy. Holy crap. Dan Kennedy, it's this brutal, just like, I deserve your money. When I go into a room to sell, I'm going to take all of your money because I deserve it. And if I could get away with it, I would come down into the audience. I would hit you over the back of the head. I would take the money out of your pocket and I would enroll you in whatever course because what I'm giving you is more important than your money and I deserve all your money. But I'm like reading this book like, holy crap. Wow. Yeah, that book is Speak to Sell by Dan Kennedy. I mean, that guy gives himself permission.
Well, I read something very similar to that actually, where I listened to it, I should say, on my trip up to Reno and coming back because that's where it was last week. I read or listened to Pirate Latitudes by Michael Crichton.
I've not.
And it was all about piracy.
Michael Crichton?
They deserve your money and they wanted to take it all.
Have you
Michael Crichton, yes.
Have you read the second Andromeda?
No, Andromeda Strain, no, not yet.
Read the second. Like the second one is so good.
Yeah. But Pirate Latitudes is great because it's actually based on a true story too. Cool. So it's interesting how much detail he goes. Like the one thing I like about Michael Crichton as a writer is he researched. He doesn't have any particular genre, but he researches one particular genre like obsessively, and then he'll, like when he did say Jurassic Park, he went and got into cloning and he understood all the sort of the basics of that. When he did 13th Warrior, he had to go. That's actually a true story. Yeah. It was based on true story, and this was also Pirate Latitudes based on true story.
And his first ever book, I believe, was Andromeda Strain in 1959. I believe that's the first.
Very fan. As an author, I really am impressed by him. So
awesome.
Let's see. I got another. What's the other one here? It always makes me suspicious when the police try to hide body cam footage. To me, a body cam would be like a bulletproof vest for my job and reputation. There is never an excuse to hide it.
Yeah.
I got you. And then last one here is, as far as being friends with a lot of girls, how do I keep track of them all? Kind of like a promoter. Is there a system I can put into place to stay organized?
You're welcome to come join our free group, school.com/men of action free. There's a hyphen in between each word. We go over this. So it's a way you organize spreadsheets. We use spreadsheets in order to do this. So I have a spreadsheet for Access Vegas.
HubSpot.
One for the bikini competition. HubSpot's fine.
HubSpot will work.
HubSpot's totally fine. I just Google spreadsheets is basically what I do. And I have spreadsheets for each city, and I have spreadsheets for influencers, male influencers and female influencers. That's what I would recommend you do. Okay. And then here's the thing. If you guys want to if anybody in there is interested in getting to like club promotion, what I'd recommend you do is get a spreadsheet, we'll say maybe 2,000 girls, and split it up into thirds so that you don't invite girls to something every week. That's a really big red flag. You don't want to do that.
Okay. Before we do the next video, have you ever put a guy in the friend zone?
Oh, yeah.
Have you ever put a guy in a friend zone? Have you ever put a guy in the friend zone?
Every day.
Every damn day.
Yeah.
Yes? Yes?
Of course.
Okay. Well, here's how you never get put in the friend zone.
Tyler, we've been expecting you. Welcome to Overtime. This is going to be your one-stop shop.
Right, there you go.
Tyler, we've been expecting you. Welcome to Overtime. This is going to be your one-stop shop at getting optimized so girls like that never friend zone you again. Let me give you a quick tip. So we're going to start you here in the exam room where we're going to draw your blood so we can see exactly where your hormone levels are at so we can help you optimize. Because we have an in-house lab, you don't have to wait 2 weeks like the other guys. You can have your results here within about 20, 30 minutes. Then we'll go on back here to our massage chairs where you'll be hooked up to an IV on some NAD+. Then we'll finish off with some shockwave therapy so that when you're in the gym working hard, you can recover quickly.
I love this. This is absolutely, guys, I've said this before and I'll say it again. Fellas, if girls are constantly asking you for money, it's because your arms aren't big enough. It's true. Like, it absolutely, dude, you guys just get in better shape. You don't get friend zone. I don't understand why this is the case, but this is kind of an extreme example of this.
Get your ass to the gym.
Well, keep talking. Keep going.
Get your ass to the gym. What are you talking about?
Yes. Beautiful. Is anybody else?
Honestly, that cop thing, I was going to say during the beta male cop situation, I was like, I think he needs to get his blood work checked. Because honestly, that is,
You've been eating too much soy. Stop with the soy.
It's funny. I'm reading Degeneration right now, and they're talking about the whole soy thing. Yes. That's interesting. Anybody else have a thought about this?
Yeah.
TRT? Any you guys dating anyone on TRT or just straight up taking anabolics?
I'm on HGH right now.
You're on HGH right now?
I'm on testosterone as well.
Really?
There we go. Anybody else?
Where do you get it?
I got a guy.
I got a guy. I know a guy who knows a guy. Okay.
No.
Dark web.
But love NAD+.
Yeah.
It's great.
This advertisement is absolutely terrific. The friend zone thing, guys, I don't know if you understand. That is like a terror for men. It really is a huge insecurity for a lot of men when you ladies put guys in the friend zone. It really, really sucks. So that's why I think that's really effective advertising.
I think a lot of guys are a lot more aware of it now too. Like it used to, like prior to like social media and everything. Like when you got put in the friend zone, you're like, oh, I don't know if am I in the friend zone? I'm in the friend zone. But now it's like I think enough guys have been there and they've related their experiences that they can actually sort of see it coming.
Yeah, the trick is you preemptively put her in the friend zone because that's what you would do with your guy friends.
Mm-hmm.
Like you don't like when I see these dudes like talking to girls and they're just like the long hugs where they like graze over the girl's ass and all this kind of stuff. Like, would you do that to your guy friend? No, stop doing it. That's like it's so weird. Like again, I just never understood this concept of escalating on women outside of a bedroom. What is the point of that? I don't understand.
Mm-hmm.
Just be cool the whole time, hang out, and go back and watch the new Rick and Morty anime series. And then when you're at the place, just note it. Hey, do you want to take your shoes off and get in bed? And she says yes. Then maybe you can escalate. Well, I don't know why dudes are doing this like out in the open. Like this is stupid. Go ahead.
Not to say this, but you always talk to like the not attractive friend. So then the attractive friend's like, why isn't he talking to me? And then that's when she gets interested.
Oh, you're talking about doing it. So it's Nashian. Nash's theory of economics. You remember he won I don't want to go too far in it, but John Nash, the economist, he had this same, it's called something equilibrium. I forgot what it's called, but it's basically the idea is if everyone ignores the hot blonde, then her price comes down. That's
playing to the meta. Is what
it's basically collusion. Yeah.
Yes.
It's just but I do agree with that concept. It's what I would say is if there's a group, get the one who's the leader to love you and give her more intention than the one who you really like is
nag her.
Why?
You got to nag.
Got to nag or neg. We could also nag.
Yeah.
There we go. Gosh, she knows the shit.
Yeah, she does.
Okay.
Anybody else? Okay, cool. Let's keep going.
Couples content. Here we go.
Very, 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 very last option if you want to get yourself out of a job and you can't get any buns. I wouldn't even recommend.
Oh, we did this one. Sorry, my bad. My bad. Couples content.
Let's all get pregnant again.
Yeah, please. Let's do. I thought this was this one.
I know.
Maybe I got the wrong one. Okay, let's 95 years old. This guy's old, dude.
Yeah.
5 years old.
You're 95 years old. You look good for 95.
That cause I don't run behind big that'll kill you. Y'all young men, y'all be screwing all these that's why y'all come up with arthritis and rheumatism. Your eyesight go bad. Your hair starts coming out. When you are over yourself, you bring arthritis on yourself. Every time you drop that seed in her.
Yeah.
Your bone marrow and all that stuff from your head to your toe goes inside of her. And when you have intercourse with your girlfriend, who always fall asleep first? The man.
Yeah, I fall
asleep. And when you wake up, she done stole your wallet, stole your car keys. She gone about her business.
Yeah, I got to get that.
Well, you better kill her then. You have to eat right. Stay away from McDonald's and Burger King. Don't drink sodas.
No soda, no pussy, no McDonald's.
Yeah. The biggest, you can eat, but stay away from that pussy. You ain't gonna marry that woman. Don't stick your you don't know what disease she got. And now all the women got coronavirus.
Yeah.
I have
got that corona.
Oh, hell yeah.
That corona.
Don't stick your little two in every out here.
Oh my God!
I have no commentary. I think what he's saying is absolutely correct and totally accurate. True. Your bone marrow goes into because when you come, your bone marrow goes into her. Oh, my bone marrow! Oh, and now I need to sleep. Anybody have any thoughts on living to 95? What do you think?
I wish that more men thought like that.
Yeah,
it would be less
Men fucking everyone.
Anybody else?
Anyone else?
Low-key, I couldn't really understand him the whole time, so I need to rewatch that video again.
That's pretty funny.
What's that line from Mean Girls? Don't have sex, you will die.
Yeah.
Something
Oh,
like
no.
that.
Yeah.
And die. Yeah. That's pretty much what that was.
Oh my gosh.
That's pretty funny.
Anybody remember this girl?
TMZ reports Paris Hilton is going to sue. While promoting a hotel in Dubai, Paris took a ride on a sightseeing plane at the invitation of this Egyptian TV host and prankster, Ramez Galal.
What's happening?
What's happening is a stunt pilot cuts the engine. The plane dives. Paris, surrounded by actors, apparently thinks they're going down. She later tweeted, "Scariest moment of my life. They even opened the back door and threw someone out." Though he was wearing a parachute, they braced for a crash, then landed. To her credit, Paris asked about the man who was thrown out.
Is that guy okay?
Yes. The host then comes clean about the prank.
This is prank show.
This video has succeeded at something rarely achieved. It's made people sympathetic to Paris Hilton. People like Nancy Grace.
I'll tell you what, if I were Paris Hilton, I would take these people to the cleaners.
And it's horrifying, and she could suffer severe mental illness because of it.
There are doubters.
I think that she definitely could have been part of this. Look how she's constantly moving her hair.
But a lawsuit would show Paris wasn't in on it.
Hilarious. So a couple things. If you guys have ever been in military flight training, they do this to you all the time. I have had 3 instructors just literally pull the engine, don't even tell me anything's wrong, and then push the nose over, and they panicked me that we were going to die. If I could sue Little Abster, who's my second flight instructor, I would they do this to you all the time. They scare the crap out of you. To me, I would laugh. I mean, I think it's pretty funny. It's pretty messed up. This all happened. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I would be scared.
You'd be scared?
Yes, not knowing what's going
You'd
on.
be mad?
I mean, it's so funny. I mean, it's funny to watch because you're like
Yes.
not there. But if I was to experience that, I would be traumatized.
Yes. Anybody else?
I'd be in jail.
You'd be in jail?
I'd be in
You
jail.
whooping
That's
on 'em?
not cool.
Anybody else?
I mean, every time there's turbulence on the planes, I'm the one that's laughing, and everyone's like, and I'm like, oh, this will be so fucked up. Let's do it.
I get scared too, but I don't think I would sue over it.
I wouldn't sue over it.
I'd
be
sue.
like, I found out it was a
Okay,
prank.
mad at first, but then
Like, who
after
does she
I
sue?
watched
Who
it,
does she
this
sue?
is
Right.
I remember
Whoever
now.
decided
Yeah.
to throw this prank, you're getting sued.
Yeah.
No, she's
Was
already
it
rich
like-
enough.
Of course, it's Nancy.
Was it that Ashton Kutcher show?
Yeah,
I was about to
right.
say being
Oh,
pumped.
no, this is
You're being
way more.
pumped.
This is an Egyptian TV host that
You
did
said
this.
it's way worse.
So I was like, why is she not flying private?
They probably there was probably some kind of stunt they were going to do, or
Yeah.
so got her to go up
Yeah.
there for some reason. Yeah,
Yeah, they
it was really. There was a moment there. So I've met Paris before, and she was a DJ at Hard Rock before it was the Virgin, and then afterwards I interviewed her, and we hung out in her hotel room with her brother was there, security guard, for like 3 hours, just sitting there talking for a while. And I was curious, like, this is one of the most famous people in the world, and she's like spinning at Hard Rock, and now she's going on some thing with the Egyptian. Like, it's just kind of, there's some weird things going on there. I don't. There was a point in her life where I just didn't understand what was going on. You know. Anyway, go ahead.
She's famous for being famous, right?
Well,
Dude, I'm a fan of Paris Hilton. I think she's awesome. Just because I got to meet her, and the girl figured out a way to make $1 billion off selling makeup and freaking perfume to people in Asia. I'm sorry, dude. That's pretty smart.
Like all of the cookware, and I want all
That's
of
pretty
it.
smart. And by the way, if you guys remember those Lumi lights, those Lumis, she used on that too. That was, oh no, I'm sorry. That was
She was Kim Kardashian before Kim Kardashian was
She
Kardashian.
cloned her dog. Did you hear that?
I did not know that.
She
Cloned her
her
dog. I would do
Clone
that.
the dog?
I would totally do that. Can I clone Ned?
I would love to clone my dog.
Yes. We got a really good super chat here from Rational Runnings. It's a question for Sheena. Says you were taking HGH testosterone. Have there been any changes to mood or sex drive that have surprised you?
I'm always horny. But no, I have to tone it down.
Does that help you in your line of work?
It does, because it did I'm 40 years old and my sex drive did plummet. I got blood work done. You need to get that blood work done obviously first, and you want to get the tumor marker testing done because HGH will make cancer grow. And you also don't want to overdo it on the testosterone because then your clit gets big and it's going to be like a micropenis.
Hold on. Are you doing anything besides test? Are you doing?
I was going to do Anavar also, but I just can't remember.
You don't need Anavar. You don't need to do Anavar.
I want abs.
Do lady Anavar.
Yeah, just
10 milligrams.
The problem is like you have to.
No.
You should not even do 5. No, if you're going to do Anavar, don't even do 5. That's correct. Yeah, don't do that. There's no reason. You're not trying to bench press 225. You're not trying to.
She's back in the gym anyways. But yeah, HGH is the fountain of youth.
Yeah, so
I look 40.
Yeah,
okay.
Exactly. So the issue. Yeah, so that's interesting. Try to follow.
I have a background in medicine also, so
Good.
like I already worked in this, and I worked in a doctor's office that did this stuff.
Are you open to saying how many mgs per week they have you take?
I'm not prescribed of it. That's what I'm saying. I have experience of all this else. Well,
I'm sorry. No, you were.
You are.
What did the doctor tell you?
I prescribed myself.
Okay. All right. So
she knows medicine.
So here's the thing. Has it made it where you can? So one of the big differences between men and women is men. If you were to take the median man, so meaning 50% of men above and 50% below, the median man's desire for sexual variety would put him in the top like 3 or 2% of women. Meaning only 1 or 2% of women want more sexual variety than the median man. Does that make sense?
Yeah, because pussy is great, but new pussy is better.
Yeah, so let me ask you something.
Said the girl on HGH.
Has taking testosterone made you desirous of different partners and not care as much?
I'm looking at guys really long and hard now, and I'm just kind of like, what would I do?
But you understand, like women in general, their desire for new partners is not as strong as men's because we have 17 times as much testosterone.
I don't even know my body count. I don't even care about that anymore. Like,
got it. Okay, so but what I'm saying is, were you like this before the test?
When I was younger, I was definitely that same high energy sex. I was a swinger before I even got into the industry. So yeah, I feel like it just kind of reverted me back.
So you mean like the meaningless sex was easier?
Oh, for sure.
Okay. So that's why I'm asking the question, because like generally it's not that women can't have meaningless sex. It's just they don't have as much as men. They don't desire as much as men.
I feel like I've been weird my whole life like that.
You picked the right profession.
I've always been exactly right.
Yeah, I think you picked the right profession.
You found your calling.
Yeah.
No, my question was this though, and maybe more to this guy's point is, the women that I've known who have been on anabolics, like they're female bodybuilders, the first thing they have told me is that they can't believe like guys are like this all the time because they're like they can't believe how like horny they are.
It's distracting. It's very distracting.
You're in a female dose. You're in a female dose.
Yeah, I'm not taking, like guys should be on 1 cc.
You're not taking 300.
No, I'm taking like 0.25.
Right.
And I have to do it every other week because if I did it every week, then my clit was starting to get a little bigger than I would like it to be. Mm-hmm. Like it was like, yeah.
You're taking 25 mgs a week. That averages out to about 25 milligrams a week.
Well, every other week.
No, I know. Every week is 50. So it's every other week. So every other week would be 25.
Okay.
0.25
I'm really
is
bad
50
at math.
minutes.
I'm great at counting money, though.
Anyway, doesn't matter. The point is, dudes like here, I know dudes taking 300 a week. And you're taking 25 a week. So you're taking a female dose. So imagine taking like the female bodybuilders who are taking like 200, 300 a week plus Anavar. Like it is crazy. Like that's why you hear like I meet couples they're both bodybuilders and they do this. That's where the term deca-dick comes from. It's like they do these crazy. Yeah. No, go ahead. You know what I'm talking about.
No, but I'm like scared. I'm like, oh my gosh. Like who becomes the man at that point? I'm like,
Deca-dick.
Yeah,
I don't think I've actually ever heard of that. Wow. How are you attracted? Never mind.
Oh, I'm not. I'm just saying.
It's like, larger than I would like it to be.
She's bigger than you.
Like a micropenis.
Some men like that.
Yeah, it goes back to
Was there more stimulation in it?
I mean,
yeah, that's what
I don't think it's not necessarily going to change your height.
get off by actually.
So I mean, maybe broad wise,
But the
like,
problem is
like
that it was
muscularity.
One conversation at a time. You're talking about rubbing yourself. Go ahead.
Sorry.
What was that? I think this is the one we want.
This is the one we want.
You rubbing
This is
yourself.
the content they come
Masturbating
for.
is so much easier, and being able to orgasm was so much easier because of doing the testosterone and like.
So I guess there's another question I'm asking. I know for some women, for them to get off through masturbation, there's a mental block they have. Does the testosterone help alleviate that mental block?
For sure.
Or maybe you just never had it.
It sounds so interesting, but
scary at the same time.
A mental block?
I
have that
the
mental
right
block.
person
Of
where
course.
you're like connected. Then I mean, personally, I come from the medical industry as well, and so like even when my partners in the past have been trying to go on testosterone or things like that, maybe it's because they're older. I just don't understand the reason why. I mean.
Really?
Well, okay, because this is meant
as a woman or as a man?
As a woman.
For both, it's called
Woman.
andropause and menopause, and so we would do hormone replacement
Yeah.
therapy in the doctor's office that I would work in, and instead of you just crashing down, landing, we would give you these hormones to kind of make it a cloud that you just kind of float
But is it
down
like the
into it.
So let me help you with. So you don't really want the natural process of things because throughout evolution,
Devastating.
once you have a child, like in your 20s or whenever, are we good?
They're good.
Oh, the microphone wasn't working?
You guys are.
Okay, cool. The warranty, the way I like to say it is like your ancestors lived long enough to have children, and then that was it. The warranty's done at that point. This is why you see diabetes and cancer and things like this happen because the warranty's off. The human body was not designed to live that long. So that's why we do things like take peptides. We start to eat more natural foods, other things like this.
We brush our teeth.
Yeah,
yes.
Dude, dental care and antibiotics have done so much to prolong the human life, not span, but the life expectancy. The span has been around the same. There's been people who lived about 120 years, even 200 years ago. But the expectancy per person has increased mainly because, like I said before, there's a few things, but mainly they have to do with modern medical innovation
and dentistry,
and they have to do with antibiotics. But going back to what you're saying before, why would women want to do this? It's because when you lose. So women have more testosterone than estrogen. A lot of people don't realize this. They don't have as much testosterone as men, but they have more testosterone than estrogen. You need some testosterone. You do have muscle mass. You do need to push shit. You need a certain level of aggression and assertiveness. There needs to be some there.
But doesn't that naturally happen in the body through working out and like natural things like that in the woman's body? I don't know what to do with this. It's not
just grab it and bring it to you. There you go. Just
Get it all up in there.
There you go. So yes,
right,
and the natural progression for men. Like I'll give you an example. Do you guys remember Archie Bunker from All in the Family? Did you guys remember him playing? No, Carol O'Connor. Anyway, he's smoking cigarettes. He's overweight. He's balding or whatever. And I wish we could show you a picture of what Archie Bunker looked like. Him and I are the same age. You would not believe we're the same species if you were to see that we look the same age. And the reason why is because when he was doing that in the 1970s, people who are 47 years old in the 1970s looked like they were near death.
100%.
People today, I'm 47 years old, we don't look like that anymore. We can run marathons and have lots of sex and work out 7 days a week. And it's very different. I also run an 8-figure company. That's just not something I'd be able to do had there not been advances in TRT. Now you're asking about for women because women, they still want to be at a normal level. They don't want to be so low that they have nothing going on as far as testosterone is concerned.
Like
Does that make sense?
every woman that I know, and I'm not saying you,
Yeah.
I don't know you,
Yeah.
but they get really masculine and it takes away their femininity like when they're on testosterone. And I'm not too sure if it's like something that changes in the brain. And I think personally, like I don't like that.
So let me say this. Like, I don't think you would need it because you don't have the issues that I'm referring to. I'm just saying for some women, it also makes your skin better. Like there's a lot of reasons why people would take it. You might want to investigate whether or not they're abusing it. Because it is addictive. I will tell you right now, like it is. When I first got on TRT, I was like, "Holy shit! I want to take give me all the TRT.
It's like a high.
This is awesome.
Yeah.
Let me take more."
Is it kind of like pre-workout then?
No. It's not like so. Pre-workout would be a stimulant like caffeine. The best way for me to explain this is testosterone makes effort feel good. So like you're going to go lift a bunch of weight and you will feel a strain on your body, but you get this dopamine high because you lifted the weight. It's the feeling after maybe you roll in jiu-jitsu and you tap someone out and you guys have been going back and forth and that high you get afterwards. That's what testosterone makes you feel that more. Does that make sense? It also
Accomplishment.
Well, partially mentally, but it also aids in protein synthesis. So what happens is if you have higher testosterone, a lot more of those calories you take in go into repairing your muscles, and so it burns those calories that way. So you carry less fat, you carry more muscle. Now the other problem is it also grows your heart over time. It makes your the heart muscle bigger, which is bad for longevity. That makes sense. And like right now, probably last summer, I'm 6'1", I weighed 237 pounds and very, very little fat. That was not good for me because of my hip and my knee. Like, it's not good for me to weigh 237 pounds. So now I'm down to about 212. And that was a situation where you'll just keep getting bigger. You'll eat more, you'll lift more, you just keep getting bigger. So you have to watch that part as well. Yeah. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, I've been on TRT for a little over about a year and a half now because this guy got me into it. Yeah. And I wish I would have done it sooner, quite honestly.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
I wish I would have because
I don't recommend it. I don't recommend it for guys under 33. At 33, I recommend you start looking, unless you just have just super big eyes sitting in your head. You're very whiny voice. You're just like no muscle mass whatsoever. Like I have some clients that are like Indian dudes with just skinny as shit, and I'm like, bro,
I tell you what's funny is like when I first encountered like people who were on TRT, like Rich Cooper was on TRT for a while, and he was telling me I should do it. I never really got it until you like suggested it, and then and now I understand, and now I get it. You know, once you get to like week 8 or week 10, while you're on there, you're like, okay, now I understand what you're talking. Like the colors in your world change, right?
You're not. I don't know how to explain this, but it's almost there's a function of analgesia there, where like I'm not afraid of pain as much. Like I really would. I know it sounds insane because there's no way I should be able to do this, but I want to go back to my high school football field and play defensive end again. But I'm 47. I should not be trying to do this. But like, I want to go do, like my body wants to go. It's so crazy. And like, I get, the problem is though, this is for me, is that I have, 8 years of Brazilian jiu-jitsu and 6 years of football and 25 years of basketball. My joints are not repaired. I don't have the joints of a 19-year-old, even though I have the endocrine system of a 19-year-old. And I get myself in a lot of trouble where I fuck up
I still have a shoulder injury.
That's
like,
the main issue.
I can like my working weight right now when I'm benching is 225. Yeah. So I'm at two plates right now, but I'm still 56 years old.
Yeah.
So it's like my tendons and my joints and everything are still that much.
No, dude, you'll see like tear muscles. You
have to be.
Do you
very,
guys
very
cold
careful.
plunge?
Yeah, I do a cold plunge a lot. Now, the problem with the cold plunge thing is that if you do cold plunge and then you go lift, like I did 2 cold plunges and then I was doing a set of 15 at 225. I actually tore this muscle right here because I wasn't loose enough to go do that. I was easily strong enough to do it. Had it been on the Smith machine, I could have done 20 reps. But because I was doing free weight, then I like at rep 12, I heard this popping noise, and I wasn't able to do bench press again for like another 6 weeks.
I'll also like end with this though, is like when I started doing TRT, that's when I wanted to be educated on it. I wanted to know what the hell I was doing, what I was getting myself into when I was doing this. And then once I started getting on it and I realized like we have like, especially today in modern times, we have guys who are at such low testosterone, like young men at lower testosterone than has ever been recorded before. It's the food, it's the food, it's the environment, there's a lot of other things that are going on. I mean, and then you also got to know that like when you get into a relationship or when you get married, your testosterone as a man drops. If you get divorced, it goes back up again. So there's certain environmental like prompts that trigger that stuff. But the thing is like I'm looking at the chat right now. Everybody's like, "Oh man, testosterone's so dangerous. It's dangerous. You're gonna die." Imagine being you at 65. Like, imagine me being me at 56 right now, man. I feel fucking great. I look better than any 56-year-old I know right now. And it's like it makes effort feel good. I want to go work. I work out with Hida Yamagishi. I work out with Alvaro Pena. These guys at Powerhouse Gym, man. It's like I want to be there. I'm like literally like looking forward to it when I go to bed at nights because I know I could get up the next morning. And I get to go work out, kind of thing. And it's just this attitude. It's this mental attitude. And the thing that gets me is like I deal with all kinds of fucking hate on Twitter all the time, and all these guys who are like really kind of like spurg out on me all the time. I'm like, you would have a different mentality. You would not even be talking to me like this if you would just increase your testosterone by 100 points. Just like when you go and I don't know what your T levels were when you when you were doing your initial blood work, but for guys 17. like for me, like my initial blood work was, I think it was like somewhere like 430 or 480 or something like that. And like, well, we can put, that's you can be on TRT if you want to, right? So they want you to be up around like 800 or 1,000, right? And I'm like, fuck,
for a woman, you don't want to be above.
Yeah, you don't want to be there.
Like, so just so you guys know, like a woman at 20, that's low. 60 would be about average.
But I would,
if you get above 100, that's probably
I would argue that a lot of these guys who are like really kind of nihilistic and they're black pill doomers, and they don't like. I was just watching these videos by Scott Galloway talking about how these guys. We have the Generation Z is like the most sexless generation of the last 4, right? And these guys, the men just don't want to get out and do it. They don't want to make approaches. And it's like, now we're looking at, well, you'd be more successful with women if you actually went out into, go to meet women kind of thing. You're not going to want to do that if your testosterone levels are so low. And you're just like, you have this state of mentality where you're just like, it's all gloom and doom and you're nihilistic and you're despondent the whole time. I would argue that if you would go and like increase your testosterone somewhere between like to the tune of like 300 or 400, milligrams or whatever, as your serum testosterone, you would have a completely different outlook on life. You would stop thinking about, how bad things are and how you can actually go out and do something about it.
Yeah.
It makes effort feel good.
Yep.
Let me get to this one here. Addressing the comment that some men like an enlarged clit. There's a technical term for men who like the clit turned micropenis. They're called homosexuals.
Yes, I love he said that.
There's the clip.
That guy wins.
You sir win the prize for the best tweet today.
Knock it till you try it.
You want to do let's do the anthem.
All right,
here we go.
And if you don't put your hands in the air, if your hands in the air, then cheat on your man. If your boyfriend got your tickets but they not VIP, cheat on him, cause he ain't shit. It's the cheat on your man anthem. Cheat on your man anthem. Find a rich guy and have his kids. Find a rich guy and have his kids. Cause when I'm trashing, your man is a man. So at least get a rich one if you can. The best time cheers when your man's at work. If you also working for the guy at work, this the office infidelity anthem. Office infidelity anthem. Cheat on your man, do it now. Cheat on your man, do it now. This is not a joke, and if your girlfriend sings along, it's cause she wanna do the things that I mentioned in this song. If your man is broke, put your hands in the air. If your hand is in the air, then cheat on your man. If your boyfriend got you tickets but they not VIP, cheat on him because he ain't shit. This the cheat on your man anthem. Cheat on your man anthem.
You can't tell me that's not a City Girl song.
The look on his face, bro. The look on his face. It's just the look of just sadness and disgust. It's so funny. Does this bring up any feelings? Any of you guys? I was dancing to it a little bit. Anybody else?
Yeah, I saw some of the girls. Like,
it was a good beat.
I got caught
kind of feeling it. Oh my God. I've said this forever. Like, the best dating advice I've ever heard. You know who that's from? It's from Willie D, Project Pat, and Juicy J, right? Let a hoe be a hoe. Don't save them. They don't want to be saved. These hoes, they for everybody. The best worst advice I've ever heard about dating comes from Cardi B, Megan Thee Stallion, and fucking Nicki Minaj. They have the worst dating advice. It's just like, go cheat on your man for no reason. It's like, it's so funny. It's like City Girls. They just put it all into one song. Oh man, that's really funny. All right.
Oh my gosh.
And they put a good beat on it. It's like, yep, they put a good beat on it.
I've said this.
Cheat on your man.
I've said this a million times. Like, I love Megan Thee Stallion's music because it sounds like 3 6 Mafia from 20 years ago. I love her music, and at the same time, realize that her lyrics are the end of society. All right, let's start. Let's back up here. This one is so great. Let's watch this. Okay. Can we go to the beginning?
Yeah, gotcha. Ready? Here we go.
Toxic men want women to be pulverized by fear. The fear of aging, the fear of being used up, the fear of having cats, the fear of confidence. Who's going to tell them that none of these things are scary? These men want us to hold a funeral for ourselves the day we turn 30 so that we can make impulsive, uninformed decisions young so we can choose them. But once again, none of these things are scary. Turning 30 is not scary. Being confident is not scary. Cats are not scary. Figuring out you don't like the person you're with and moving on is not scary. They just want to scare you. And once you figure out that these insecure and toxic men are not holding any cards that you want or need, it's the day you really start living. These men don't want you to have an opinion. They don't want you to choose better or even acknowledge that men are not altogether necessary for a life well lived. The prospect of these men wanting nothing to do with me isn't even remotely intimidating. Like, you promise? I don't want to see you coming around here anymore. They don't want you to have your own sense of style. They don't want you to feel confident about yourself. They don't want you to be independent. The gender war was waged by toxic men wanting us to second guess everything about ourselves. Men don't like when you do this. No man wants a difficult woman. No man wants an opinionated woman. No man wants a girl that's not a virgin or had multiple boyfriends. And they really must think we're dumb. Sounds like you want us to lock in on the first guy that gives us any kind of attention. And how convenient is it that society is built around making us feel so insecure that your validation...
That was it, yeah.
Okay, cool. Does anybody have any thoughts?
She talks too much.
She talked way too much.
She talks too much.
Lost me a
Oh
while
my
ago.
God.
I don't even care.
I mean, it's her TikTok. So.
Cliff notes.
Anybody else? So here's the thing. I would have liked for her to define who she was talking about specifically. When she said before that no man wants a difficult girl. No woman wants a difficult man. Not wanting a difficult partner is, but the idea that we don't want women to have an opinion, no one said that. And no one in the red pill is saying they want a virgin unless we're talking about John Zerka. Nobody is saying
whores.
Yes, they're all whores. I'm a billionaire. I can't even get a virgin. Like nobody's saying that. That's not what's going on here. So this is a great example of a straw man argument where basically you take the opposing viewpoint, you make it as extreme as possible so that you can come back and say the things that are saying. The gender war was definitely not waged by men. That is certainly not the case. I don't think so at all. So I think it was more to what your point is. It was waged by a cross section of feminism and hormonal birth control,
right.
Sort of created this gender war. Then in her situation, her audience, she's pandering to her audience. Her audience was like, I want to feel empowered. This kind of stuff. But my issue is this. Let's take some of those same things, not extreme versions of them, not virginity or whatever. She said women can't have an opinion. Let's not say that. But let's just say, what if your dad wanted you to behave this way? What if you ladies had a father and your father said, hey, I don't want you to be difficult. Like you probably have a better time with your man if you let him lead. If you were to say things like that, is your dad now toxic? That's what my question would be for her.
Right.
Is if your father gave similar advice, is he also toxic?
Right.
My question.
My dad's toxic, and I feel like he does. Like, I don't know. I don't see my dad's relationship as like happy. I feel like he just found some woman that will like listen to him and do as he says, and I don't want that for myself.
For
Like,
sure,
he would preach things like that.
For sure.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm just not toxic enough because I totally understand what you're saying here.
Very insecure men need women that don't know who they are and that need them. That builds them up, their ego. So
again, the qualifier, if she's talking about all men, which it doesn't seem like she's doing, I think she sort of has this like trump card of saying, well, I only meant toxic men, then I think you can kind of get away with it. But I also think she was going to certain extremes. And I'm just curious, like who she would be dating in order to
toxic men to her means men I wouldn't fuck. That's basically what it is.
I think toxic men to her mean men.
It's men she would.
I think it's men she previously fucked.
Yeah.
She previously fucked who made her not feel good about herself.
Right. Well,
also, let me say one other thing because I want to make sure you guys understand this, and I'll debate anyone on this. Women's insecurity. I understand that there are things in the world that make women feel insecure, but in general, women are more insecure than men. In general, it's not a function of culture. Just in general, that's just the way it is.
Yeah.
We can have this discussion if you want, but throughout history, this is the difference between testosterone and estrogen. A lot of female insecurities don't. I have dated women before where I've done every single thing in the world to validate them, and they're still insecure. This idea that the insecurity solely comes from society or men are trying to make them insecure, I do not agree with that. Go ahead.
Insecurity comes from themselves.
Oh, agreed. Go ahead.
If you just take time to get to know yourself, the more confident you are, the less insecure you are. It's really about you.
Yeah, but for her to blame society, it's like, society is there just to try to make us insecure. No, they're not. Men are looking for higher sexual selection and higher status. Women are looking for a better partner to have children with. That's what we're looking to do. Mm-hmm. This belief that society deliberately tries to make women feel insecure. No, men are attracted to women who look good in bikinis. We aren't attracted to them in bikinis so that we can make other women insecure. We aren't even thinking about the other women. Yeah. We're just looking at the hot women in bikinis. Right. We're not trying. We don't look at hot women on Vogue or FHM and like, man, that's a great cover there. I hope that makes some other women insecure. We don't even fucking think about that. That's not the point. Just like women, you guys pick guys that you think are good looking or high status or whatever. When you do so, you're not considering the men you didn't pick, trying to make them insecure. That's not why you did it. You did it because you just had a feeling. And she's straw manning it like society was just created to make women feel so insecure. You have a different opinion.
Well, no, I have.
Mike.
Sorry, guys. This is a little bit mine.
Yeah.
So I have two different opinions, and I can play devil's advocate on the one.
Sure.
So devil's advocate, I think she's talking about toxic men, but she has very specific examples. So obviously we know something has happened to her.
Sure.
But what did she do? Like, there's that question. What did she do to invoke these type of actions from this type of person? Or was it somebody who was already like this? There's so many different levels to that toxicity, and she's probably toxic herself.
I believe the narrative. Yes. I believe the narrative that she's trying to propose is that she didn't do anything wrong.
Of course she did.
That's what it seems like to me. I don't want to put words in her mouth because I don't know. But to go back to what you're saying, in her mind, like you understand, I'm not saying every guy. She's a pretty girl. I'm not saying every guy, but there's a lot of guys who would not want to date a content creator on TikTok, specifically who makes content about men being toxic. Do you guys understand?
Yeah, because it gives off like pick me energy in a way, like you're throwing the other people under.
What I just said, if she were here reacting to this, she would call me insecure for saying
yes.
that. I would have no problem dating a content creator. I love watching Layla and Alex Hermosi. I love them as a couple. I would love to have a partner like that who made content to go along with my content. Another example is How to Beast and his wife Yulia. Great example of a couple working together, making content on both sides. That is not what the issue I would have. If all of her content though was bashing men, I would be less inclined to want to date someone like that, but not because I'm being insecure, but it's because if we have a brand together, that seems...
It's contradicting. It doesn't follow the same guidelines.
It's also, the other issue is she is now incentivized to bash men. Like she knows I will get more views if I bash men. She's also protected under the TikTok algorithm. Bashing men is never ever punished on the TikTok algorithm. Bashing women is always punished under the TikTok algorithm. So
just asking questions they don't want you to ask is enough to get you banned.
Yeah, for sure. If you ask like what is a woman on TikTok, you're gonna lose your account.
I was gonna
say we just lost our YouTube right now.
Yeah, they can't demonetize us any more than we're already demonetized. So,
but on the insecurity note, I just made a post about this the other day. For women specifically, other women make women insecure, and it doesn't have nothing to do with the men. Why do women go get? And sorry if anybody's had any work done. I'm a natural girly, so I can feel and say this, but like the girl's gonna go get a BBL because she thinks a man likes big butts, and in reality, the dude really wants the natural body. But because he might have given a girl that has the boobs and the BBL some attention or something like that, that natural girl is now insecure and thinks that she has to go change her body to be what that guy wants, and it's this fucked up thing, but we did it to ourselves.
Again, if you were dating a guy and you saw that his ex-girlfriends were attractive, do you think he dated attractive women specifically to make you insecure, or was he just living his life? Again, that's what I have an issue with what she was saying. Society is designed to make women insecure. No, society is designed through evolution.
Yeah.
Right. Society is just downstream from evolutionary desires. Yes. As a man, if I was a very short man, I might feel insecure by taller men. Did they become taller to make me feel insecure? Did women pick them to make shorter men? No. Just like society did not choose to make women insecure. It's just a situation where women compete on a physical attractiveness level way more than men do. Right. Me and Rollo, if we're competing with another guy for physical attractiveness, it's like, what up? It's like a little bit. I know some guys are way more attractive than me, and I don't feel really much insecurity about it because I'm a better basketball player. I don't know. I like whatever. I'm decent in bed. Whatever the thing is, I feel like I'm good enough to where I'm not very insecure. Women are at like DEFCON 1 nuclear war. You got bigger tits. I got to get bigger tits than you. Yes. They're level DEFCON. Just call in the news.
1,400 cc's. I need 1,800 cc's.
I've seen it. I've seen literally no girls in OC who will go get bigger tits because they're going. Shout out to Dr. Revis in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. This guy specializes. All this guy does is 1,000 cc's or more, and like for boob jobs. And he's just got girls lined up down the street. To go get boob jobs.
I'm glad you brought that up because anytime you hear someone say it's society this, society that, it's society, that is cope. Okay, first of all, that's social constructionism is what that is. I'm glad you brought this up because all of that shit, all that social structure, all of that, anything that you can say is society is downstream from evolution. The families and sex and social arrangements exist because of evolution because of the way that we're built. This is how the machine fucking works. So for her to say, well, it's society this and society that, no, that's you trying to make the game easier for yourself, and you're trying to change the nature of the game so that it fits your particular skill set, so that you can actually go and dunk the basketball on a 10-foot or a 5-foot fucking dunk instead of a 10-foot fucking dunk because you want to call that basketball, right? It's trying to change the game to meet the skills of the individual player. That's why she's complaining about that, and that's why it becomes quote unquote toxic masculinity. And I'll say this as well: is that there's no such thing as toxic masculinity. There is only masculinity, and there's the aspects of it that serve women's best interests and that don't, and they're inconvenient. And the funny thing is the same masculinity that makes a fireman, run in and save the baby from the burning building is the same masculinity that makes those guys do those crazy fucking jumps across fucking, the you've seen those videos where they jump across the building and they go jump crazy distances and fall into pools and stuff. That's the same masculinity that's necessary for a guy to go in and save a child from a burning building. One of those is pro-social, and women go, yay, save my baby. And the other one was, I can't believe this is why women live longer than men. No, it's because it's fucking masculinity, and you just have no idea what it's about.
It just comes to emotional intelligence. I kind of feel like to be able to understand that logically, and as women sometimes we actually operate off of emotion first. So unless you take time to switch that mind frame and view situations logically and act on that rather than emotion, you're gonna get that weird hodgepodge of people. This type of elevated mindset I don't find is in every normal person.
So it's great. When you look at that, you might say, what happened in her past to cause her to feel that way? You talk about in your new program, Reignite, the concept of epistemology. Yeah. How did she come to the belief of that? How did she come to the belief of that? And the reality is, she may have legitimately dealt with a legitimately toxic man. But what happened was, after that encounter, she may felt so comfortable with the victim mentality that she had after dealing with that person that now she has described and created an entire narrative that she presents on TikTok every day. And what does TikTok do? It rewards her with more stimulus, more likes, more comments. Yeah, you go, girl. When in reality, she's gotten so far out of bounds with these concepts. The majority of men don't want a woman who isn't opinionated. Being opinionated isn't the problem. What we don't want is a woman who constantly accuses us, attacks us, or exaggerates whenever we're having conversations because she's not winning the conversation. Or a woman who believes that her feelings change objective reality. Your feelings matter because they're your feelings. They're inside of you.
But feelings are opinions at the end of the day.
Exactly. Yeah. Your feelings do not change the speed of light or the force of gravity. Your opinions do not change objective reality. And I've met so many women who believe this and a great example of this would be astrology. Astrology is utter and complete hokum, but women, because it feels good to believe that, they actually think that Mercury in retrograde has something to do with fucking anything. And Mercury in retrograde has nothing to do with anything. And so that's the thing. That's where objective reality comes in. And so from that standpoint, whereas I don't want a woman who attacks me, who exaggerates, and who accuses me of things with no evidence. And additionally, I don't want someone who's going to tell me how I feel, but they can ask me how I feel. In doing that, what she may translate that to is, oh, you don't want a woman who's opinionated. That's not what I said, but your opinion needs to be informed, and your opinion can't do the thing that hurts my business, embarrasses me in front of my clients, etc. Any of those things. You have to understand the boundaries of the relationship so that I can go and continue to provide for us. Exactly. And if you understand that and we're on the same team, that's why I point out Grant Cardone and his wife, Layla Hermosi and Alex Hermosi, or those type of pairings. That's why I really appreciate those pairings, because they're on the same team. Yeah. Cool.
All right.
Well said.
Super chats. Rational Redneck once again. Why do I never see 50-year-old women saying, I don't need a man?
Hilarious.
Okay, I'll do this one. Pajit usually have skinny, fat body fat. They are fed vegetarian food right from birth. Evolution took a toll on them.
So this is an interesting thing. So we had last time we did the show.
Yeah, you need to talk to that guy.
We had Shittich on here, and one of the things we were talking about is
AJ.
Yeah, well, KJ, one of the things he was talking about is two things that Indian men suffer from specifically. You guys can go watch his channel if you want. He's an Indian content creator. One was the concept of, because there are so many, what are they called, arranged marriages in India, a lot of the men do not work on any social skills whatsoever, because it's like, you get one free wife. Take this card for one free wife. Everyone gets a wife. And so because of that, they don't work on social skills. So they write you guys and they go like, please send me Bob's and Vagine. Please, I am desperate. Send me Bob's and Vagine. That's why you're getting that. It's because of lack of calibration from the society they live in. The second issue is the vegetarianism is high in carbs and low in protein. So you see a large gut and very small arms. And that becomes that. The reason why you're seeing that is because that's what vegetarianism does. It does not make your arms bigger. Again, when you think about it from an evolutionary standpoint, in order for me to go hunt other animals to eat them, what do I need? I need the ability to throw objects overhand. Homo sapiens do that better than any species on the planet, and Homo sapien males do it significantly better than Homo sapien females. This is the reason why we watch baseball and football and javelin and discus. We're watching humans become the apex predator on the planet by throwing objects, hitting things. That's why we are the top of the food chain.
Hairless murder
apes. Exactly. So that's where that comes from.
T-shirt coming soon.
Exactly. So yeah. Anyway, I lost my point.
Okay. I see a rational redneck again. I see a lot of women call men insecure as a cope for having them, or for them having unattractive masculine personalities.
Guy, I agree that there are men who do unattractive shit. I'm not saying, like, ladies, there are toxic men. If you should have a guy friend in your life, or a brother or a father who's like, hey, yeah, this dude is just controlling. He's just super fucking insecure. But there's a difference between that and then it's just like, yeah, I don't know why he never wants me to go out with my friends. I'm like, well, describe your friends. Oh, they're all hoes. I'm like, okay, well, that's maybe why he doesn't want to go out with your friends.
Right.
You guys know if you have a group of couples, and one of the couples gets divorced, the likelihood of the other couples getting divorced goes way up. Same thing that happens if you have a house, like in a cul-de-sac, one of the people sells their house, the likelihood of the other people selling their house goes way up. So if you have a girlfriend who goes to Vegas on a girls trip and has no intention of cheating on her boyfriend, but she's on stage with Marshmello, or she's on stage with Steve Aoki, and they're passing around a little Molly or whatever, and then all of a sudden everybody's going back up to the suite to go have party time, she ends up fucking some random DJ. God, I said it again. I apologize. I keep cussing. Because she ends up hooking up with some random DJ. She had no intention on cheating. It's because she saw her friends do it. It's what happens. Men and women are the same. We follow peer pressure. So not wanting to have your girl go out and wear provocative things and hang out with her hoe friends, that's something as a man, I think you have the right to say. Just like as a woman, you might say, hey, I don't like it when you flirt with other women in front of me. You have the right to say the same thing.
I agree.
Yeah.
Question for Michael about the stat I hear him say a lot. The top 10% of men get 63% of the right swipes on dating apps. What is the source for this statistic?
It's either dataclism.
I already sent this to you, bro. I think I sent this to you 2 weeks ago. I'll send it to him again.
Yeah, you can look it up. But yeah, that's definitely the case. It was I can't remember which specific one it was, but it was top 10% was 63, top 20% was 83, top 40% was 96%.
I think I have the Steve Stewart Williams link for you for that one. Yeah. So that's that. I think I have a video that's sort of pertinent.
But hey, you know what's good? I need to just go back and source that. I need to go find that and source that and use it again. But yeah, I do use that statistic a lot. But regardless of whether or not it's 63% or 55% or whatever, the top 10% of men, even if they got 40%, that's so far outside the distribution that it's just madness. And by the way, the top 43% of women get the top 63% of right swipes. The top 10% of men, the top 43% of women, which means men are more interested. The average man is more interested in the average woman than the average woman is interested in the average man. The average woman has no interest in the average man. The average man would do anything to date the average woman.
All right, Aria, you're shaking the 8 ball. You have to tell us what it says.
Ask a question.
You have to ask a question. You ask the question. You're holding the 8 ball.
I'm holding it.
Okay. Think of a question. Somebody give me a question.
Somebody give me a question.
Is Jake getting lucky tonight?
Who's Jake?
Jake, my drummer, my sound guy.
Yeah. All right, Jake.
What do you think?
Is he getting lucky tonight? Yes, definitely.
Oh no!
Hey, I gotta tell a story.
We all know who's watching this episode.
Update us.
We all know who's watching.
We're gonna need an update.
I think Travis was there for the story, and I've never told you this story. So one time I interviewed CJ Miles. She's a famous adult star. And I interviewed Nara Ford at the same time.
So
and Travis, I don't know if you were the engineer for this, but we played a joke on the owner of Sticky Paws, which is John Orlando. Yeah, you remember this? And what happened was Nara picked up CJ and started making out with her on the table. And we wrote John Orlando. We were like, hey, dude, they're about to have sex on camera. What do we do? We don't know what to do here. Now, the girls were totally on it. It's like, John, do we stop them? Do we keep filming? Do we stop? John was like, no, keep rolling. What are you talking about? Like, keep filming. It was so funny. It's like, John, what do we do?
Content, bro.
We're going to have sex on the table where we film the podcast. What should we do? Yeah.
Oh my God.
The model releases.
All right. I think this is fitting. Let's do this one.
Decided to bring back a part 2 of how to break a man's ego. And again, I didn't write this. I didn't do this. These are just things that are fun to use or possibly laugh about. Why are you being so emotional? Is it your time of the month too? You're making me miss my ex.
Oh my God.
That
You're done.
is
You're done.
disturbing. You're making me miss my ex.
Oh man.
I honestly
go
think,
find him.
that's
Get
it.
out of here,
That's
yo.
it.
Go find him.
Go get him then. Like that, honestly, breakup would happen at that point. So the second half you could say to that is, you sound like my ex.
That's bad.
That's bad, but honestly, you're making me miss my ex is significantly worse and would ruin someone's life. So this one is for if your boyfriend is on the shorter side, height-wise. Oh no, this is bad. You say, you can't talk down to me from that height. I didn't expect much from you anyway. Oof.
There you go.
Guys, I would highly recommend, if any of you guys have heard any of these comments, please read the book, The Value of Others by Orion Taraban, and go to the section where he talks about mutiny. This is an example of a mutiny. You and this woman got into a relationship together and you had an understanding of what the boundary are. General boundaries would be like, let's not have sex with other people. Or other boundaries would be like, don't disrespect me in public, stuff like that. And then you go down and then all of a sudden she changes the rules of the relationship. And she says, why are you getting so emotional, bro? Like, you remind me of my ex. If you're dealing with that, you're dealing with a mutiny. Just think about, what was the movie with Tom Hanks? It's like, I am the captain. Captain.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I am the, look here, I am the captain now. So when you're dealing with a mutiny like that, the only way, how did captains back in the old days in the 17th and 16th century, how did they deal with a mutiny? How did they would walk you off the plank, and you would walk the plank and you would die. You have to crush the mutiny immediately. If I had a girl say that to me unemotionally, unaffected, you're Harvey Specter in this situation. You'd be like, hey, I don't mean to be rude here, but I need you to leave. Okay. I totally understand that this is what's going on. But in this relationship, I need to lead this relationship, because if you wanted to lead this relationship, or if you could, you'd already be leading it. And if I couldn't lead the relationship, you wouldn't be here. Mm-hmm. So we're in this situation and you need to speak to me like this. It's totally fine. You're an attractive woman. You're going to find someone else. We need to end this now for both of our sakes. Yep. And very calmly be like, hey, listen, I've already called a mover. Just no emotion whatsoever. And I promise you, your relationship's going to end, or that behavior is going to stop quick as shit. That's probably what's going to happen. There's no way I would tolerate something like that.
No.
Well, you could read Mutiny, or you could read the original Mutiny.
Here you go.
That I wrote back in 2014, yes, which is where it came from.
Beautiful. Awesome.
All right. Let's see. Next one. Oh, should we do let's do Sterling Cooper.
Yes.
Oh no. Steal.
Oh, you guys know Sterling? Come on.
You guys think you only attract promiscuous women, which is...
That's exactly what I was suggesting. A lot of guys, they cannot fathom in their mind that a good woman could possibly be attracted to a guy with my past. Bro, like, I've dated pastors' daughters. I've dated Muslim women. Body counts of like 1. I've dated virgins. My fiance has a very, very low body count.
Yeah.
And the reason I'm able to attract them is because the things that are attractive to all women are universal. Being dominant and leading is attractive to all women.
Okay. I have been making this argument for forever. And by the way, Sterling and I have never had this discussion, but like he has come to the exact same conclusion that I have. One of the biggest problems I have in male self-help is dealing with men who are like, I need to learn how to attract the good girl. There is no attract the good girl. The same mechanisms to attract the porn star are the same mechanisms you use to attract the virgin from Kentucky. And men cannot fathom this idea. But when you have guy friends who are like male strippers, VIP hosts, whatever, and you talk to them and you're like, hey, is every girl you sleep with, they've been with like hundreds of women. Every woman you sleep with, they're all like sluts. They've all been with like hundreds of, like, no, most of them haven't. I talk to guys who are male strippers and they're dealing with women who are just like, it's like they're just attracted. Attractive qualities work because of evolution, because women are attracted to those things. It doesn't make any difference if they've been with 900 men or 2. And so instead of men trying to figure out how to become the good guy attractive or the bad boy attractive, just become attractive. Becoming attractive is your prime directive as a man. If don't become attractive to good girls or bad girls, become attractive to all girls. Guys don't understand that. And that's a lot of reason why when they see the way my marketing works, because there's a lot of girls in my marketing, they're like, no, Michael, I'm afraid if I take your course, I'm going to end up with like a stripper. And I'm like, bro, you'd be lucky. Anyone, no one knows who you are. No one cares. You literally don't matter. You are totally and completely irrelevant.
Don't worry about
the female gender.
Yes.
Totally. No one cares about you at all. And so, again, guys, if you don't believe me, because there's going to be some guys out there who don't believe me, a lot of you, they may come from structured families where mother's like, you need to go to school and get a good job so you can get a good girl. Sorry, that myth was thrown out 70 years ago. That's not real anymore. What happens is you need to talk to some guys that you know who are slaying it. If you have a guy friend, or if ladies, if you know a guy friend who, like I'm talking about, the dude's been with 500-600 women, ask him, is every girl you're with, they're all sluts? And he'll tell you fewer than half. It's not like that. Guys who really understand women, it doesn't matter if they've been with a lot of women or a few, because the mechanisms of attraction are ubiquitous. And that's very hard for guys to understand because they've been training their whole life for the good girl. No, attraction is attraction is attraction.
Yeah, I was going to say. So, were you attracted to this gentleman, Sterling Cooper?
We shot content together, and it was the first and last time I ever had a guy put their foot on my head. So I will not be repeating that. Normally, I'm a try anything twice thing to make sure I hate it, but
you were trying it once.
You tried it once,
though. It's not his fault.
Well, you try everything twice to make sure you don't like it, but then I was like, no, I don't understand what the big deal is.
We're not holding Sterling accountable for that.
No.
Is that we're just trying something once, right?
It's what the scene called for, right?
Yes. You know what I'm saying? He's not doing that. He's not doing that anymore. He's engaged now.
Yeah, he's gone.
He's not. He doesn't do it.
I haven't seen him on set or at industry events in a long time.
So.
Yeah, he's been out of the business for like 8 years now or something.
Yeah.
No.
By the way, did you go to Ryan Ponwall's birthday? Do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
The Pillow Talk host?
I know. I did not go to his
birthday
party.
Ryan's a good friend of mine. He's in more adult stuff than anybody I know, and he doesn't even do porn. It's one of the funniest things. Anyway, all right, let's keep going.
I got a quick one here. Orion Taraban made a video, successful men make use of high-quality escorts than to date would rather make use of high-quality escorts than to date a woman. The value proposition for time and effort usually better with escorts than with regular chicks.
Okay, let me clarify because I watched all 3 of those videos.
Okay.
He does not say it's a better idea, but what he does is explain why it happens. What he does is, it's really genius what he does. What he does is he takes the concept of prostitution, and then he uses it as a value exchange in compared to like dating. So prostitution versus dating back in the day, it was actually better because you could be a middle-class man and have a wife and kids and not have to be exceptionally rich. And over time, regular dating has become less and less valuable. You have to give up more and more to get a worse and worse woman. And so in comparison, prostitution starts to look better, but he does not promote prostitution, nor do I. But it is just strictly from an economic standpoint, he's making that point.
Well, that's the thing, is that the prostitute makes the proposition of a high value woman or a high class woman possible.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly right. Yes, exactly right.
Because there has to be one for the other to exist.
Exactly.
There has to be some sort of outlet for that guy, right?
Is my mic working okay? You guys hear me okay? Okay, cool. Let's say
we good to go?
All right, beautiful.
Let me grab the next one here. Oh boy.
So what do you think about the saying where people say you are what you attract?
I think it's just a saying. I don't think it means. I think it's very different. Women are going to attract men based on their physical attractiveness initially, and men are going to attract women based on their status. They're like their shows of dominance, their connections, to some extent their physical attractiveness, but not nearly to the extent that women need to do it as well. And so you are what you attract. No, I've seen attraction is different from who you marry. Who you marry might be someone you have a lot in common with. Who is attracted to you, you may have nothing in common with. It's just attraction is not a choice.
See, that's why I make a distinction between attraction and arousal. Okay, so like if you ask a girl, what do you want in a guy? She's going to tell you, oh, he's got to like long walks on the beach. He's got to be good. I want to bring him home to mom. He's got to like puppy dogs. He's got to want kids in the future. He's got to be funny. He has to be intelligent. Has to have, come from money. He's got to have money. He's got to have ambition. He's got to have confidence. Da, da, da. It's this laundry list of things. That's what women are attracted to. If you ask a woman what she's aroused by, say, well, what part of a man's body like really get you going, right? We could go around the table and ask you like, well, I like his butt, I like his, biceps, he's got a V tape or whatever else. He's got 6-pack abs, he's got to be taller than me. There's always these physical aspects. So I think that it would really help us like utility wise if we could separate those two things, because if you're going to ask a woman like what she's attracted to, she's going to give you the right answer. What sounds right? It's going to be like, what's good for my long-term security? What's good for my children, my potential children in the future? What's going to be, well, who do I want to marry? Who do I want to be in, spend the rest of my life with? And if he happens to be good looking, he has a nice butt and he's got like, 22-inch arms or whatever else, he's got it. He's pretty, his bench press is where it should be. Right. Those are two separate things. I think it would probably help us if we could separate those. You haven't seen this one yet, and I think you'll probably enjoy this one. So this is one of mine.
Not going to tell me that the only thing a man gets from a woman is nasty sex.
How am I not going to tell you that? So you tell me what a man feel he get. No, since you know what a man feel a man get, tell me what a man feels he get. Tell me.
I love that y'all making the point.
Tell me what a man feels he get, Azar.
I'm not a man, so I'm not going to speak for a man.
I'm up out of here.
Bye.
You don't spoke for a man.
Bye.
You just sat here for 20 minutes telling me how a man feel what he get. That's all we get.
Aww.
That's not true.
No, listen.
He's telling you.
Exactly. This is why y'all don't want to care what the fuck a man wants.
I care.
She ain't even listening.
Say it, friend. I care.
All we get is sex.
That's your reward.
Let me put that in context.
Yeah, it's your reward. Yeah.
You are not about to buy not one man a motherfucking house. You're not about to buy one man a motherfucking car. You don't got to go bust your ass to buy a car, a house, pay a mortgage.
So is a kid not getting something?
Oh,
is he carrying?
It's already been stamped. You're supposed to be the what? Provider. We have the pressure. I have to figure out how to buy this house, build this house, get this house. The Rock, 10 times the salary for the ring. We have to do all these things. Oh, there's a sound. What is that? Let me go downstairs and.
He's about to say defend the house.
That's interesting. Yeah, I mean, it is an interesting proposition. I think
you were just saying value propositions and stuff like that.
Yeah. So this is. Again, you guys, you've said this before. Ryan Teraband said this. In general, it is more expensive for a man to be in a relationship, and in general, it is more expensive for a woman to be single.
True.
In
Yeah.
In general,
We want a provider.
In general, the proposition is women exchange sex for resources, and men exchange resources for sex. In general, that is not always the case. Obviously, I had a commander who's female in my squadron, and she wasn't exchanging either. She was a really good she was a really good pilot. But like for the most part, that's generally how the world works. So when you talk about the value exchange, one of the things he's saying is, I have this burden of performance. You don't necessarily have the burden of performance, and so I think a lot of women don't recognize that. And you remember the famous video clip where Myron asked the girl, it goes, what do you bring to the table? And she goes, I am the table.
I am the table.
I am the table. It's one of these situations where I do think that certain women are a bit delusional into what they are bringing into a relationship. In general, for women, it's about what they give. And for a man, it's about what they give up.
I think that it comes down to a lot of like basic understanding. Like the reason why you get this sort of conflict between guys that like this guy right here and the because the women don't know what to say. They literally don't have any. They've got no other. They have no comeback to it, right? So if the guy says,
you're asking the wrong question.
Yeah, exactly. And so we've asked this question on this show before, as well as on Fresh and Fit do this occasionally, and sometimes I see it maybe a few times on whatever podcast. But it's like, what do you bring to the table besides your pussy? What do you bring? And I'm saying pussy in the sense of like sex, okay? But like, what do you bring to the table beyond? Like, what's value added do you have past that? And you'll notice that the first thing that the woman says is like, well, that's your reward. Well, that's now you're commodifying it. Now it's a commodity. So I think really what it comes down to is understanding the appreciation of what that guy actually has and what the trade-off, if we're going to look this in commercial terms, if you want to bring it down to that, what the trade-off actually is. I mean, the guy has to be the
If I ever was with a woman who quid pro quo rewarded me with sex for anything I was doing, goodbye. I'd be out of there so freaking fast. Are you kidding me? Sex whenever I want. If you're in a relationship with me, there is no discussion. If you have any problem with that whatsoever, that is totally your prerogative. But you are going to have that prerogative with some other idiot, not me. Go ahead. What are you saying, Aria?
Once you're in a committed relationship and you're talking about childbirth, do you not think not only the sex, but like a woman giving up her body? To
Absolutely.
produce
No, totally. I totally agree. That's not what they would. Yeah, no, I totally agree. That was an extrapolation of what he was saying, for sure.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, but I also think there's other things. Like I think being in a relationship, like, can we? So here's the thing. There's a part. I'm going to describe it this way. There's other ways to describe it. I like to listen to grandma. You want to know why? Because grandma has the experience of age. Grandma knows what it was like to be a virile woman, but grandma's also gone through menopause and doesn't have all that estrogen flowing through her head. Grandma is trying to protect the brand. If you want to talk about like the granddaughter going off with the bad boy and getting pregnant, it's actually grandma who stops that. It isn't dad. Dad wants to stop it. Dad wants to go get the shotgun, but it's grandma who tends to stop it because grandma has some wisdom. Okay. So I actually listen to grandma. So in these type of situations, one of the things I want is a wife who wants to protect the brand, who wants to protect the shield. You know how families used to have a shield, like an emblem? I want the woman who wants to protect the family from the outside looking in, wants to make make sure the children don't embarrass themselves, the family doesn't embarrass themselves. That's what I want. And also brings peace to the home. When I come home, give me a second before you have to start asking me questions about something you probably got misinformation about or a rumor that you heard. That's what I need. That's what I would want. In addition to what you said about sex and having a child, that's also what I would want from a partner.
What were you going to say?
I think one thing that's just like very
Talking to the
apparent.
mic.
Is this good now? Like, I feel like I'm talking in the mic, and then you guys are like talking the mic, and I'm like, eat the mic. It's very apparent that this girl has no respect for men, just how she's talking to him, and I think that's the basis of a lot of the issues in relationships and stuff that happen right now. Is that women have gotten on this thing of like, I'm independent, I can do it by myself, and then when a man comes in, they don't know how to like switch it and give a little bit of that respect him, truly respect him, view his mind, be his peace, and keep it simple.
Yeah. So
that man was yelling at her though.
But why was he yelling at her? Because she
they're
wasn't.
not together. Like they're just he's trying to have a discussion like he would have with me over a football conversation.
But he shouldn't be yelling at her.
But she was cutting him off. I would get upset.
Okay,
See, the disrespect of women, like that's how you love men, is by respecting them. The second that you lose respect, you literally
yeah,
it's
like
so
you don't
hard
love
for
them anymore.
Women
You don't
believe
respect
this.
them.
Women believe love is like this lava that just inside of them. I just have this explosion of love and obsession for you. No, it is respect.
Yeah.
It is a straight line. It is. I will do anything to keep you to guard the rear.
100%.
I will do anything to make sure that when you get home from the trip, that the house is in order. That is the respect. That is actually love because you're giving something up. There's a sacrifice. I have to sacrifice every day. You following your feelings is not sacrifice. You accusing me because you have a feeling about something is not sacrifice. You taking your feelings and subsiding them and actually saying what is best for this relationship, that is actually sacrifice. That's what respect is. Respect comes from some level of sacrifice. Men understand sacrifice. It's the only way we get ahead.
Right.
It's the only way we get ahead is through sacrifice. Women often get ahead through sacrifice, but often get ahead because they're physically attractive to men and they don't have to sacrifice. Often that is also the case. And so because of that, you're right. It is the function. There's one other thing. It was actually Marquette who said this, and I totally agree. There's this thing when men talk to other men of mutually assured destruction. There's a point to which we won't be disrespectful to each other. Why is that? Because we'll fucking fight.
The threat of violence.
Because there's a threat of violence. Because we'll fight. And with women, we'll never fight. That's not cool. You just don't hit women. You don't get into fights with them. And so what happens is we're having a disagreement. And normally if I was talking to a man, he would know we're gonna keep it at here. We're not gonna let it go to here. I'm not gonna call you out of your name, especially on YouTube. I'm not gonna do that because we're men. We know better. I'll get up and we'll go to hand of fist. And you might win, but you're still gonna get popped in the face. We'll never do that with women. And so women go through their whole life dealing with men who would never have no recourse whatsoever, and they just get louder and louder and louder and crazier. And they're like, what? He's not going to do anything. And they literally even challenge men. It's like, go ahead, do something about it. What, are you going to fight me? It's like, what am I supposed to do? Like I've seen this happen on some of these panel shows. Women will like challenge the men. It's like, what is he going to do? Going to hit you on YouTube with 20,000 people watch? Of course, he's not going to do anything. It doesn't mean he's a weak person. It's just he's not going to do that. He's going to get criminal charges. It's not worth it. You're not worth doing that to. And so you get to the point where one side is totally and completely unchecked, and then the disrespect just gets higher and higher and higher, and she doesn't see the problem. Because in the end, you never learn to respect any man, not your husband, not your brother. There's no man. You have no mechanism. There's literally no code in your brain to understand the concept of respecting a man. And then you're just like, wonder why these relationships don't work. Well, I have some female friends. I know when they get into a relationship, I'll be like, see you in 3 months, because you are going to be back on these streets, because you will never let a dude tell you shit. And because of that, you are going to be back out here hanging out with me on stage at Zook in 3 months watching Deadmau5, because you can't maintain a relationship because you have never learned how to respect any man in your entire life. And that's the issue. Again, with me, with other men, I'm like, I'm going to be respectful. One, when I respect other men, we can do deals together. We can make money with each other. We understand that concept. We could also beat the crap out of each other. We can also give each other access to other people, other places. That's the way it works. I go play paintball at Bilzerian's house like every weekend, Dan Bilzerian's house. When we go play paintball, there's guys there. I don't know who they are. Some of them are MMA fighters. Some of the guys are Deca millionaires. Some of these guys, but we're all super respectful because like, Dan invited us all here for some reason. We all have something going on. Well, whenever we do that, we're hyper respectful. You will never see dudes talking shit to each other ever. And the reason why is because we can beat each other up. We can deny access to one another. And we all have the potential of making money together. So let's be respectful. But when you don't have that between men and women, they just start screaming at you. And then it's like, what am I supposed to do? You just got to get up and leave. And that's the problem. That's where this whole thing comes from. And so the ability to say, this man has done so much for me. He's provided a home for me. He protects me. I should, of these other dudes, fuck them. This guy I'm going to show respect to, no matter what. I'm going to protect the brand. You do that, ladies, any of you listening, you do that, you find a husband, a good husband. All these things you're complaining about, that other woman doing her makeup, talking about toxic men, you'd have a man right now if you understood that one concept. 100%. And by the way, we ought to point out you were happily married, Sydney. Sydney happens to be happily married. We didn't point that out.
I'd like to also say that like a lot of women like to call, like they want the man to be a provider, but they don't think about how a woman needs to be the multiplier. Like,
how so? Explain.
So if a woman, like we can say work stance, and if he's coming home and he's having a hard day from work every single day, and you're just making it harder on him, you're coming in negative. You're not multiplying him. And I feel like as if he comes home and he has a woman who's easing his mind every single day, he's going to be more productive, which is going to make her happier in the long run. And that would be multiplying it. So women just want one side and then they don't want to do their part.
I 100% agree with you. Go ahead.
I think for guys, they need to know their purpose. And a lot of girls think,
Thank you for saying
if purpose. You don't have, a lot of girls think, I want the guy to be obsessed with me. I need this guy to be obsessed with me to know that he loves me. The second he becomes obsessed with you, you hate him. Yeah. And so it's like very weird. The second
holy shit, she figured it out. Ding, ding, ding. Wow, that's crazy.
The second he has purpose and you're the secondary, which not really, but yes, in terms of things, you're secondary, you are chasing him forever. You're loving him forever because he's not about you. He's about his purpose. And that's what's hot.
Exactly. You're as a man, you have to have a purpose and an empire you're building for them, and she comes secondary to that, and then she will love you. And her primary is the children. Her unconditional love is always going to go to the children. And when you have that whole diamond, right, those four things, then that is a functioning relationship that lasts for 75 years. He is allowed to provide and she is allowed to protect, and then that's the way that whole thing works. And that's what she dude, you grasp the whole concept. If you guys want any more clarity on that, listen to Casey Zander. My interview with him, we just hit 50,000 views, a really great interview, and we go over these concepts of like when you put her first. Again, it doesn't mean you disrespect women. What it means is when a woman, like this idea that a woman who is nothing but physically attractive for you, you've given up everything. You've given up exclusivity to a woman who isn't sleeping with you. Let me say that one more time, because there's some of you dudes out there who are listening to me right now. I'm calling you out. You're giving exclusivity to a woman who isn't sleeping with you. And you're doing this. You're giving up all these things, and you're like wondering, like, oh, why is it that I'm continually being disrespected? Because you don't understand this concept. You need to have a first. That first needs to be your mission in life, but it can't be her first. And here's the crazy thing. She can tell you she wants you to be obsessed with her, but she wants you to make your mission first.
Here we go.
No one's going to tell you that. No one teaches you to get it. The entire world tells you the opposite of what I just said, but women who grasp it, they understand this concept, and men who understand this concept, they do way better with women.
Speaking of this concept, it is as old as the hills, because I'm about to read to you, let's see, 16 Commandments of Pooh, number 3. This is from Royce, way back in 2009. You shall make your mission, not your woman, your priority. Forget all the romantic cliches of the leading man proclaiming his undying love for the woman who completes him. Despite whatever protestations to the contrary, women do not want to be the one or the center of a man's existence. They, in fact, want to subordinate themselves to a, say it with me, worthy man's life purpose. Worthy man's life's purpose. To help him achieve that purpose with her feminine support and to follow the path he lays out. You must respect a woman's integrity and not lie to her that she is your everything. She is not your everything, and if she is, she soon will not be anymore.
Yeah.
All the way back in 2009.
Beautiful. Guys,
like that one?
You're going to miss a lot of money chasing women, but you are not going to miss any women chasing money.
Yes,
all right,
exactly.
Cool.
I wanted to point out one more thing, though, because we're talking about the idea of respect here, and just to put a little period at the end of this thing. Respect and being a man who is respectable and having done those things. That's why I emphasize the word worthy in that. So it's not like guys are saying, well, women just need to be submissive to any man that they want to. No, that's not the game. That's
most
why
men
you
do not deserve your respect.
Do not deserve
most
your
men
They're unworthy.
Most men do not deserve your respect.
Yeah, they don't.
But when you find the one who has, because you have never respected any man, you don't know how to act. That's the problem.
Yeah. And then that boils down to one concept that neither one of these girls in the video got, which is appreciation, is to be able to appreciate this guy enough so that you can respect him in the first place, understanding what he does, understanding his value, understanding the fact that he's got to be the protector, the provider, be parentally invested. He has to be worthy. He has to have ambition. As I said before, when we're talking about the things that make a man attractive as opposed to arousing, what are all those things? He's got to be good with dogs. He's got to like Disneyland. He's got to want kids. He's got to be funny. He's got to be intelligent. He's got to be educated. He's got to have he's got to be ambitious enough to make money. There's this laundry list of things. And all of those laundry list of prerequisites are prerequisites for you appreciating and respecting this guy in the first place. That's why they call it vetting for a guy who is, if you want to settle down with a guy or you're looking for somebody. Women hate the word settle. And they hate the word submission. And the reason why is because they can't find a guy that's worthy for either one of those concepts. That's why. Let's move on to which one should we do here?
Wait, can I say
something? Oh,
yeah,
go ahead. Please do. Yeah,
okay.
Chime in.
There was this guy. He was like paying for everything. I was making like $20,000 a month. We were traveling, and I was actually like starting to like him. And then he asked me, "Do you respect me?" And then I was just like immediately no. You can't ask me if I respect you because that makes me not respect you anymore.
Because the fact that he had to ask.
That's right. More like Heisenberg's uncertainty principle. Like as soon as you observe the system, you change the system.
Yes, it's called the observer process.
Yeah.
Or the observer effect, which is observing a process changes the process.
Summer, did you have anything you want to say? I thought you had some.
I didn't.
Okay.
I've just been listening.
Okay, good.
I'm interested.
Right. Okay.
No, that's interesting. It's also what I call just get it. A guy that has to ask a woman how to be masculine is not the man for you.
And I feel like he already knows. That's why he had to ask, right? Mm-hmm. He was like, you obviously don't respect me. That's why I need your validation. Right. I need you to tell me that you respect me.
Yeah, it's not something that it's demonstrate, do not explicate.
Yo, not needing the other person's validation is so incredibly powerful. Guys, I'm sorry to be the one to tell you this. You're never going to find two people that are exactly attracted to each other equally. It just won't happen that way. But I will tell you this, gentlemen. In general, women have more options than you do. They just always do. They get more attention on social media. They can actually they can use their physical appearance to make money and from all the attention they get online. So she needs to be a little bit more into you than the other way around, because if you're more into her and she gets more attention than you have 2 points. She has 2 points of leverage over you. And you listen to the young lady over here who's married, she'll say you the same thing. Her husband isn't obsessed. He's obsessed with his success. And so she chases him. And so the relationship works because she's a bikini model. She's going to get more attention than he does. That's just the way it is.
Rational Redneck has a comment on the 2 women who were hooking up on the table. your story says the 2 women hooking up on the table knew exactly what they were bringing to the table.
That's hilarious.
The one thing men want. That's what they were bringing to the table.
They definitely were bringing something to the table.
Good. Okay, Rational. Addressing the comment that some men like. Okay, we already talked to that one. Don't give me that one again. On the subject of women not having the same boundaries as men, does anyone remember the NFL linebacker that got unalived, like killed, by his 5'2", 95-pound girlfriend? I think she stabbed him like 30 times.
They just did on Netflix, right?
Who are we talking about?
Oh, Detroit. I think he played for the Detroit Lions.
Okay, so I remember Aaron McNair getting shot by his girlfriend, but he got shot. Aaron McNair was also a quarterback. Steve McNair. So if that's what we're talking about, maybe that is what. I can't remember, honestly. Yeah. Okay. So I don't remember somebody getting stabbed 30 times. Maybe it was Steve McNair. I thought Steve McNair got shot though. I don't know. If you want to be,
but it was by his mistress.
Yeah, correct.
And the
it was a so he had a girlfriend, he had a wife, and then it was a waitress that he was like dating. That's Steve McNair. That was Steve McNair.
That is.
But Steve McNair certainly doesn't play linebacker.
Okay. I want to know. Okay. I want to set this one up. I want to know if any of you girls would ever pull this kind of a prank. Okay, because this is a setup. But I wanted to know if you guys would ever try this.
I just found out I'm pregnant. So
wait, what? No, Jen! No, get. Yes. No. Jesus, please. Oh God, no.
Yeah, no, I'm actually pregnant though. Yeah.
You're pregnant, Mara? Oh my God, yes. No.
I told you I'm pregnant. I just found out.
Hey! Oh my.
I don't got COVID. It's because I'm pregnant.
What?
Oh, she's pregnant?
Bro, I already have. Bro,
I think I'm pregnant again. No, I swear. No lie.
Wait. Hey, come back here. Where are you going? Pregnant? Oh, hell no.
I'm pregnant. I just found out today. I don't know what to do. What do you
Wait. Another little monster? Oh my God.
That's some messed up shit.
My favorite part is
already
that's some messed up shit.
They're doing this with men that they don't want to get pregnant by. That's why they're doing this prank. That's hilarious, man.
I think that's way better prank than the Paris Hilton prank.
Yeah, it was worse. That Paris Hilton prank was horrifying. That's pretty scary. His name is Lionel Abster, who's my flight instructor in Nacogdoches, Texas, and he pulls the nose up. And then he pitches the nose over, cuts the engine, and I'm literally seeing the tops of cows. Like, we're headed straight down. And I thought that the wing had come off the airplane. I was a second lieutenant. I didn't know anything about flying. And he was just like, all right, get us out of this. Like, I was like, what?
What did you do?
I pulled us out of it. I mean, it was a Cessna 172. It's not hard. You just pull the nose back and turn the engine on. It was fine. He wasn't going to let us die. We were 3,000 feet in the air. Anyway, but that's what, if you guys ever do flight and go to flight training, if you have a really good flight instructor, he's going to scare the crap out of you. Like, he's going to do it on purpose so that you get used to that feeling. Because what you don't want to do is panic in there and then just give up. You never want to give up. All flight training it's like flying straight and level is easy. All flight training is dealing with emergencies and landing when things are bad. That's all it is. Right?
Let's do this one. I like this. This will give us
today are more successful than ever. They're more professionally successful. They're more financially independent. Women get more college degrees and graduate degrees than men do. There's even some data that over 50% of business startups are done by women. There are a lot of resources now for women in the corporate world, in the world of tech. When it comes to building a career, it's the best time in history to be a woman. However, as women become more successful, the dating pool of acceptable men significantly shrinks. This is an uncomfortable truth to talk about, but women are hardwired to be attracted to men who are in the same socioeconomic status or higher. So as we are now living in this modern era where women are more successful than ever, you see a lot of these women surpassing men educationally, professionally, financially. So that means that the dating pool available to these women is smaller and smaller and smaller. It is what it is. I'm not saying it's right or it's wrong. It is what it is.
Okay, Sydney, go. I know you're ready.
My question is, I'm like, what do you want? Do you want to be the head of whatever as a woman, or do you want a husband? I'm just confused because it's just weird to me. I'm like, your masculine energy is just not the move if you want a husband that's gonna, I don't know.
So Sydney, the thing is, you made the decision and then you got what you wanted. A lot of women aren't making the same decision that you are. A lot, like a husband to them seems like something in the future that could happen later. It also seems like a fairy tale. You guys watch Suits? You did watch Suits? Does anyone remember in season 8? Who here watched Suits? You guys watch it at all? You didn't watch it? Okay. In season 8 of Suits, there's a woman named Sheila Zass who is dating dating Louis Litt. And then they're like, she pulls the goalie and decides she wants to have a baby in season 8. That is filmed in 2018. And the actress who plays her is 50 years old. This is more hokum nonsense being sold to women, and this is dangerous. Women being shown on TV, examples of women 45 and 50 deciding to start to have a family. This is not a good example to set. And so we're seeing this all over. I'm getting tired. If you notice the last couple seasons, Harvey keeps dating women that are the same age as him. Yeah. And I'm like, Harvey Specter would be dating 29-year-old women at their oldest. You're out of your freaking. Scotty went to college with him. Yeah. The psychiatrist he was with was like in her 40s, and then now they're hanging out with cats.
It's always this age appropriate.
Yeah, like I don't know if it's just so crazy. That. He keeps getting with it. Donna and him are like the same age, and they're like, no. I'm sorry to be the one to tell you this. Harvey Specter would be dating a 26-year-old Ukrainian 6-foot model. That I guarantee you he would. The guy makes millions of dollars a year and is an attorney in Manhattan. You're living in. It's very similar. Harvey Specter has become a Christian Grey. Christian Grey, the worst example for women I've ever seen is Christian Grey from 50 Shades of Grey. The billionaire with the huge penis who fucks one woman and never has sex with any other women. Excuse me? I'm sorry. What? You want to talk about porn being like damaging to men psychology? 50 Shades of Grey was destroying women's beliefs. No, Anastasia would have been girl number 17 in a real world. The idea that he never hooked. Bro, I remember by the end of it, it's like, he didn't fuck any other women? No. I didn't read. I read the second book. After the third one, I asked my friend, I was like, hold on. Does Christian sleep with other women? It's like, no. I was like, oh my God. This is such nonsense. It's like the average chick gets the billionaire. Stop it. Stop it with your nonsense. Anyway, so yeah, that's the thing. It's just kind of nuts to me. And that show how they just got so politically correct. Yeah. I'm like, no, there's no such thing as age appropriate. Guys, date whoever you want. Seriously, women tend to like older men and men tend to like younger women. That's just how it works.
Exactly. Yeah, and Donna was hot. I'm just gonna say,
Donna's stunning. Yeah.
Yeah, she was. No, I think it's interesting that like we've got we like you were saying before, where you got this sort of life plan for women to be like get the bag, get the money, get the education, get the business, get everything else going. And I see this repeated constantly over and over again. And I have women actually who are in this situation will say, "Oh, Rollo, how do I get a good guy? Where are all the good guys at? They're all intimidated by a strong, independent woman. Their egos are crushed, or they have fragile egos because they won't date me. Blah 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 blah." And they're like, somewhere in the range between like 35 and like 38 or something like that. I'm like, they're in your 20s where you left them. That's where they are, because the guys who are your sort of age appropriate, like we were saying before, your age appropriate peers, that guy's not interested in a woman who is his same, his same equal. He's looking for a woman that's going to be younger, hotter, and tighter, because now he is in those guys who are higher value guys that you think of as your equals. They don't want to have anything to do with you because now they have the same sexual selectivity that you had when you were 23 years old. And now they're like, fuck, I can go and be much more sexually selective because I made partner in a law firm. I did my residency, so I'm a surgeon now, or whatever it is. I got my business. I'm an entrepreneur, whatever it is. That guy is now hitting his stride that you were hitting when you were 23 years old. The time you should have been making those decisions were when you were at your peak performance, your peak potential years. Guys, now that he's at his peak potential years, he has an ability anyways to be much more sexually selective as a result of that. And so what happens is women think that the expectation is that men are on board with their life plans. They're not. You've been following a different life plan. And the reason why women end up having that life plan in the first place is because they've been taught from the time they were 5 years old or 6 years old by Disney and Moana and the little fairy princess and freaking Frozen and all this other shit, is you can't trust men. Men are they're fundamentally untrustworthy. They're not going to give you the security the long-term security that you need. You get either Homer Simpson, you get like I just watched this thing. Somebody sent me this video of an old episode of Roseanne, and Roseanne was talking with John Goodman, and there's the son, I think it's the son, was talking about how to understand women, and of course John Goodman is just like, don't worry about it, don't do it, don't talk about it, like he's like under his breath, like it doesn't matter. And it's like, I'm like, oh my God, like we didn't know any better back then, back in like the late 80s and the early 90s, that all this shit was going on, and the guy is just basically this doofy husband that the mother and the wife has to save him from himself. What woman wants that? Well, I would design my entire life. If I was a woman, I would design my entire life to avoid that.
Listen.
And to avoid the abuser and to avoid the incompetent guy. How do I do that? I go to school. I get the bag. I go and make my money. I'm educated. And what do? I follow a male life plan instead of a female life plan until I get to the point where I'm no longer sexually competitive or sexually viable anymore, and my agency is kind of dried up, and now I want to get with this guy, and now I'm ready, and now I'm ready to go off into, you want to get with a guy who's age appropriate, right? That guy doesn't now want to get with you because that's not what he's after. That's not what he's biologically wired to get. And so because we have this sort of endemic social narrative that has taught women to fundamentally hate men, or to at the very least consider them untrustworthy, borderline abusers, or incompetent, what do they have to do to provide for their own security? They've got to do all those things because they can't trust a man to do it for them.
There's one other trope, because you talk about the Homer Simpson trope, like the doofus man.
Yeah.
There's one other trope. One of the reasons why I like Donna so much on Suits is because there's this intuition that she has, and she's always right. Mm-hmm. But the problem is women like Donna don't exist in real life. Yeah. Women who use their intuition to run a law firm, they end up bankrupt. It's crazy. Yeah. But the thing is, Donna, in this fake world of Suits, Donna's always right. And so women align with what Donna is. But the problem is that's not, remember in Barbie, there's one scene. So I watched Barbie because he watched Barbie. Okay. I watched the movie Barbie.
I didn't know Barbie.
Okay. When we watch in Barbie, there's this one scene. Do you remember where this one woman, she's an attorney, she's like, I can have my opinion and believe in my feelings and at the same time have a logical aspect at the same time, or whatever. And I was like, no, you can't. You can't do that. That is a lie. You cannot do that. You cannot. And when you're doing something like that, you have to live within logic and reason. And so that's what the thing is. Donna's like this, the woman every woman wants to be. I just trust my intuition. And I just looked at, Mercury's in retrograde, so let's not sign this document today.
Venus is aligned with Pluto.
Oh, Sagittarius? Yeah, of course I'll go on a date with you. They want to live there, and in the world of Suits, it's real, but in reality, it's not real. You can't work off intuition. Now, there are people who can work off intuition. You know who those people are? They're people who have experience. The doctor who has done, the cardiologist who's done hundreds of heart transplants, he's allowed to trust his intuition. The pilot who has 500 landings, he's allowed to trust his intuition. The problem is the 19-year-old girl who reads astrological signs, she's trying to trust her intuition, and she doesn't know shit. That's the problem. That's where you get into trouble.
Okay, how many girls here believe in astrology?
I
know. I already know Ari. Every single one of you.
Why don't we let more women into STEM? I don't understand. Why don't we let more women into science, technology? Why do we let more?
Yes, exactly. Okay. Okay. If you believe in astrology, what's my sign?
Aries. There's 6 of you.
You already know. You knew it from the last.
Is that really?
Yeah, you got it right.
No, I didn't know.
You didn't know?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
No, the reality is none of you knew because none of this is real.
None of this is real.
Got it. Okay. Let's try to do 2 more. Your thing's about to die.
I know. Okay,
let's go really fast. Let's find a funny one.
Let's end with a funny one here. Let's do the catcalling one.
Guys, watch. This was hilarious.
You guys will love this one.
Hey, you look like you love commitment. Oh boy, hey, what you got under that shirt, sweetie? Bet it's a good heart. Bet those arms could put together my IKEA furniture. Come talk to me, sweetie. You want a family? Hey, baby. I bet you'd let me choose what to do with my own body.
Oh, your ass would look so good on my couch. Do you watch reality TV? How are you at foot rubs?
I bet you can handle a girl with all kinds of emotions.
Hey, baby, you hear me? You hear me? Yeah, because you're a good listener.
Boy, I bet your bathroom is so clean.
Ooh, you look so emotionally stable.
Those arms look like they can carry some babies.
You look like a real mess. Let me fix you.
Ooh, damn, baby. I bet you have a job with health insurance.
I bet you would treat me with respect.
Is that bowl drill? Ooh, darling. You look monogamous.
Hey, nice shoes. Want a spoon?
Screw you.
Ooh, you talk to your mama with that mouth? Or at all? Because a good relationship with your mother's important to me.
Does the beard match the carpet? Damn, you're cute. Hey, you want to go back to my place? We can eat pizza. We can hold each other all night.
My favorite is, damn, you look like you want some monogamy. You look like you want some monogamy. Oh, what a great video. Awesome. Cool. What did you think about the show? Did you have a good time?
Yes.
You did?
Thank you so
much.
much.
Any feedback for us? Any feedback for us?
Yes.
We want you to come back.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't know. I feel like maybe
I want to know what your stack is.
Yeah,
tell us what your cycle is. That's what we want to know. We're actually kind of, maybe you can give us a hookup.
Well, I did lose 8% body fat.
Yeah, that's what happens when you take testosterone.
Yes. So, yes.
Beautiful. I don't like, again, 4 of you guys have never been here before. You feel free to take over the conversation whenever you want.
Salbutamol.
That's exactly. Arya.
Every time I come on your show, you have me questioning my life.
Why? Really?
It just, I don't know. It just happens. And then I think about it long and hard. And then the next day I go back to my regular activities.
Who do you like better, us or whatever podcast?
Oh, you like whatever better?
I love you guys.
Oh, okay.
So it's whatever podcast.
What? No, I seriously do. You guys, honestly, when I come on the podcast, you guys handle it with respect. So with the other podcasts, I mean, they're cool and obviously there's views, but I feel like you guys are building. You guys are gonna get there, and you guys don't.
Be the
you
last
do
man
it
standing by the end of the year.
I mean, so if you can monetize it, but you guys do it without disrespecting women. So you need more of that energy in the world. Yeah,
I agree.
What do you think about the show?
I love it here. I think.
Can you eat the mic for me?
Yes. I think that it's a lot of controversial things, which I like. So
I get off on that shit.
I'm here for it all.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to go home and people
got
text me
active
and be
in
like,
this one.
so do you
Yeah.
really agree with that?
Send them my way.
You're waiting for
Sydney.
it.
I love it. You guys are very informative. It's fun.
We're bringing you
Yeah,
back for
it's
sure.
cool.
We're bringing you back for
I
sure.
love it.
Yeah.
Nice.
I had a lot of fun. I really like the difference of opinion. It's gotten me thinking,
Yeah.
I like that.
See?
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Mhm.
What do you think?
I liked it. It was
Yeah?
good. I had my brain thinking. I think you saw my faces.
Yeah.
I'm a very facial expression person. So I liked it.
This is a good show. We got everybody included. We got everybody working on this.
I'm going to tell you a big difference between us and other shows. If you guys don't want to get married, we don't fucking care. We don't. If you guys are hey man, I want to be a professional. I want to get multiple master's degrees, run a company, and have a dude who just tattoos my fucking face on his thigh. If you want that, we're not telling you to not do that. What we are telling you though is that when you want that and certain guys don't want you, don't blame us. That's all we're saying. All we're saying is that again, we're not telling you don't jump off the balcony. Just don't get mad at us when you die. That's all we're saying. That's all we're do whatever you want. Listen, I'm the last person in the world to criticize men for dating Playboy models or bikini models. Any of it. I've dated too many. For me, I'm way past that point. My point is when it comes to this, and by the way, I've said this before. I know a lot of people in this space don't agree with me. I am very much in favor of bikini competitions and girls wearing bikinis in the pool because it promotes health. And that is what we need in this country right now. We have too many people way too unhealthy. I love bikini competitions because it promotes health and activity. That's why I do it. I know some dudes are like, no, that's haram. Whatever. You have your beliefs. I have mine. I like girls in bikinis because girls wear bikinis when they like what they look like in bikinis, which means they're going to the gym.
They contribute to human
happiness.
happiness.
Exactly. That's why I said. So I'm pro bikinis. Now, with that being said, like I said before, whatever decisions you make, like again, you guys know, like Alexis Fox is my friend. Nicolette Shea is one of my close friends. I'm friends with Madison Ivy. I'm friends with several adult performers. And you know why I like them? Because none of them are coming to me like, Michael, I'm trying to get married. And I'm blah, blah. No, because they know exactly what the game is. When I talk to Nicolette, she gets the game. She understands the game. I was sitting there having a conversation with Katana Montana, and she's like, I've been by myself for 5 years. I'm having a relationship with me. Good, as long as you understand. Because when we get to a point where a dude is like, I don't really like the nose ring and the tongue ring and the nipple ring and the neck tattoos and the tattoos on your vagina and the ones between your boobs and the 900 body count, don't come crying to me. That's all I'm saying. Don't blame us. That's it. Yes. Anyway, cool. Got it?
And take HGH. Okay. Last one here. Rational Redneck says, I know a lesbian couple that wanted to be their donor. The one that wanted to get pregnant went into menopause before she was able to get pregnant. She was 26. Ladies, don't wait. How she go?
26. That's going to be like instead of hypogonadism.
Yeah.
There's going to be some estrogen issue.
And last one here. The women who friend zoned me 1 year ago, I can literally see tears in her eyes when I introduced my 24-year-old hot intern in the mall. She might have went into shock, but her friend pulled her away.
Pre-selection. That's the way it works. Guys,
you get to say it all.
Like when ladies reject men, a lot of times what they're saying is, you don't deserve to breed. You don't. Like, we're rejecting you. Yep. And so when this is one of the craziest things I've seen. It's actually not women getting jealous. The craziest reaction I've ever seen is when a girl puts a guy in the friend zone and then he ends up showing up with a girlfriend who's hotter than her brain cracks. I've never seen anything like it. Like, well, I've seen women get violent at these points because they were like, no, I'm sure you were a beta. I don't understand what's going on. And when women get that wrong, it's better. Like, if you don't buy a stock that goes up, it's better than if you do buy a stock that crashes. What they don't want to be is the girl who picking the wrong guy is bad, but also missing out on the good guy is also terrible. Right. You know what I'm saying? So that happens a lot. And the way you do that, guys, is through pre-selection. You want to learn more about that, moamentoring.com. That's all I teach.
Okay. What do we got going? When are we coming back? What's the next one?
So probably next Thursday. Can't promise it. We might try to do something. If my birthday week, enough girls come in town, we might do something on the 2nd.
Okay.
We might do something, maybe. I'm not going to promise do something on the 2nd.
Cool.
If we don't do something on the 2nd, we won't do another show until the election on November 7th because every Thursday we'll be out of town.
Booked up. Yep.
We're going to be booked up. So that's
However, there's a possibility I might be doing a show with Fresh from
Okay.
Fresh and Fit because I know he's coming into town, so I might sub Fresh in for you. I don't know yet. It's going to be towards the end of this month.
Okay, awesome.
Yep.
So yeah, there's that. Again, guys, if you guys want to come to Babes in Toyland, the pink party to help support awareness for breast cancer, that's going to be October 17th at the Mondrian. Go to babesintoylandcharity.com online and you can learn more about that. Also on September 14th is going to be a teatro party that's coming up. On the 21st is going to be Barry Bly's birthday here. The 22nd, Steve Aoki's charity. I forgot what it's called. He's having his charity event here. And then on the 27th and 28th is Ty Lopez's event. The 29th is Elevator Nights with Dan Fleischman in downtown Los Angeles. And then on October 20th through the 27th is going to be Swimsuit USA, if you guys are still interested in coming to that. And then on the 31st, Tao is having their yearly costume competition.
I will be at that this year.
The host of that is some weirdo that I know. So you guys can come and check that out.
I'm going to win for sure.
You're going to win that. All right. Yes. Beautiful. Take care, guys. Have a great time. Remember, if you're ugly, please use the condom.
Thank you.
And I'll see you guys on Madden.
All right.
Take care.
Yeah, me too.
Bye-bye.